Hunting some Dragonborn? Oh, for some reason it's not... I'm not getting desktop audio. That's great. Hang on.
In D&D.
There we
They
go.
definitely have dicks, dude. It's fine.
Definitely have
Do they?
dicks, she says.
Do they?
Yes.
I don't think they do. I imagine like a
100%.
Patrick
I
Star
would like
style
for
thing.
you to go to the furry side of the internet and
I
ask
don't.
them.
No.
Baddragon.com.
You will get your fucking answer. Go to Bad Dragon. You'll get your
I'm
fucking
good.
answer.
I
Exactly.
think I'm
This is a way to start.
Yeah, this is the best way to start everything. Go to baddragon.com. There we go.
Listen up,
Yeah.
Arms.
Okay, alright. That was an interesting intro. Okay. So, you each have your characters, you each know who you are and what you're doing. I think only two of you actually have established that you know each other.
Yes. Me and Tiggs.
Yes.
Character.
Fancy.
Yeah.
So, for the purposes of story, since you both seem to have stumbled upon the same proposition, I think it's safe to assume that you probably encountered each other on the way in.
Okay.
So let me...
Probably because we're traveling like on the same ship or whatever from our island.
Right.
All right, I figured it out. Karakai is sort of I get the vibe. It's like a cross between like a Far Cry Primal and like Second Sister from Jedi Fallen Order.
See, she reminds...
Okay.
I'll allow it.
She reminds me more of the...
Still allow it.
What is it? What is the girl's name from Knights of the Old Republic 2? I think Mira?
Visa Smar.
Visa Smar, thank you.
Oh, you can't talk about Visa. You can't talk about Visa Smar.
Doesn't that strike like a striking resemblance, the blind one?
Monk, I gotta go. You can't talk to me
He's
about it.
about to have to go to the big
Astro
bathroom.
Shot and Visa Smar are two women that are off limits. You can't talk about them. I gotta go right now.
All right, we're going back to Kreia. Don't worry.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, just think about Kreia.
Okay. All right. So in that case, we're good to go ahead and jump in. Looks like my frames have stabilized, which is nice. I guess Twitch was just...
looks fine.
Nope, it just fucking went crazy again. Cool. As soon as I noticed it and I mentioned it, it's like, hey, you know how you saw that? Fuck you. Anyways, all right. So it doesn't matter. Most of the blanks can get filled in, especially because this is mostly just for the VOD purposes. But, all right. So you guys were on your way in. For all of you, if you weren't aware, for some reason or another, you had accepted a job listing, unbeknownst to each other, completely unique to yourselves for your own reasons, to a man who if you're from the area, Obadiah. So Obadiah, who is Bear, he recognizes the name, but doesn't know much about him. You've probably heard his name around, and he's like a hero from 40 years past. Like he's done some things that people have called legendary and great, but you haven't heard of him in so long that his name's just got like kind of like a tinge in the back of your head. You're like, yeah, that sounds familiar. Like if I were to say Cal Ripken Jr., most people would be like, maybe I heard it.
Ooh.
Exactly. But like, so it's like,
we all know about the Oriole shortstop.
So most of you, like you probably don't know exactly who it is, but Obadiah would have an idea of him. If you wanted to see if you knew more of his like feats and stuff, you could feel free to roll a history check. Just going into it. If you want to get the first roll of the day out of the way.
History check.
I'll
Yeah, I can
do it.
that.
I'll do it.
I'll be curious. I would be curious about that.
My shit roll tell me anything?
Obadiah and Lift and text. Make sure you switch it to public and then but I can show it.
Oof, it's okay,
Okay.
Bear. I rolled worse. Okay.
All right. So, Obadiah, being from here, you like I said, you have heard the name, but that's about it. You've heard that he's supposedly some big hero from times past, but you've never heard of him. You've never heard of anything he's done. The rest of you, since you're not from here, you've not heard shit except for Karakai. Karakai, you for some reason or another, you were studying up on the history of the island of Ifin, which is where we're starting off at. So the history of the island of Ifin is where you've kind of done some reading and kind of developing your knowledge base on, and you've heard of the man that was posted the job listing or was listed in the job listing. His name being, hang on, I have it right here.
Oh.
Geda Thunderguard Nulakugoni.
Okay, you're gonna hype that shit out.
Yep.
Please and
Hang on.
thank you.
Configure permissions. Everyone has limited view. So if you check the story folder in actors, you will see him.
Ah,
And
handy.
you all received you all would have received a rough sketch of what he looks like. So for this
Oh,
is
he's
just to make it
thick.
easier. This is what you all see.
Oh
Man, he
shit!
is thick.
Oh
He's
shit!
thick.
I get some mad God of War vibes.
So that's kind of what he looks like.
Okay.
So so Karakai, you would know that he is a Goliath, and he is supposedly single-handedly was able to stop a cave-in at the primary mine. That's one of his biggest feats by holding up the ceiling of the mine and freeing people who were trapped underneath it.
What a guy. Okay.
So he walked in and it was picking like throwing boulders out, and then just eventually got to a point where he had enough out that he was able to grab the fallen rocks and just push up and secure enough passage for people to go out as he was just sitting there holding it up. That's one of his legendary feats he's attained. However, after about 20 years ago, he's not been heard from again. He's not been seen. And he's done like other big challenges before that. He's taken on bandits. He's taken on monsters. He's done his own thing for a long time. But then he kind of just faded off into existence. And suddenly
Spell
you
his
saw
name again?
a posting for him. If you look in the actors folder, you should be able to see his name in there.
Oh,
Under
okay,
story
beautiful, thank
NPCs. Let me go ahead and I'm just going to get some music in the background real quick.
It's in there. I just
yeah,
checked.
I would have
Yep,
spelled that.
found it.
Hang on. I have to do a quick whoozy does it. 1 second.
Okay.
Let me change something. It's going to go quiet on the stream for just a minute while I change this because I need to set it all to where the same thing. Boom. And then Discord needs to be set as well. As much as I would love to have it separate.
Let me see
Okay.
if I still have
Can I get one of you to snap your finger in front of your mic? Perfect. It picked it
Oh.
up. Love it.
Cool.
That's okay. I just needed anyone to do it, which if more people do it, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure that way the audio that I'm playing, the music that I'm playing comes through.
Mm.
I'm actually going to change another setting, and I'm going to start recording just in case.
Oh,
Could
I'm not
I
subscribed
get
to
you
that.
just real quickly to repeat the name of the island?
Iphen. Iphen.
Okay.
So, if you hop over to the region map, which I'll yank you guys over, it is this small island down here.
Small, he says.
Yeah, it's small compared to the rest of them. So it is that small island, and it is mostly. I'd compare the temperature, the culture, everything to kind of like Morocco or a little bit more of a mountainous and slightly temperate Egypt.
Okay.
And
So-
we're beginning our journey on the island of Iphen.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
So you all would have gotten off of your ships already, off of your respective transport. Oh, I gotta go back here because otherwise it's gonna fuck with the stuff. And you would have been coming back to Iphen or to the continent of Iphen, and probably heading. It told you to listed your location to head to as the city of Mahul. Mahul being the capital of Iphen.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to yank over to. Let me grab all your
And
tokens.
Iphen itself is IFFEN.
IPHEN. You would have
Oh,
known
what
if
the-
you didn't step away.
Do you want me to take notes?
I'm just fucking with you. Okay. Oh,
I
okay. Some of you don't have vision, and some of you do. Oh, because it's dark vision.
I
I
do
guess?
not. I do
Okay,
not have.
that's
vision.
fine. This should not have vision anyway. So let me turn that off.
Oh, I have
So-
partial vision because you moved me a little.
Yeah. So these are just
Oh.
here so that they show up on my side. So don't worry about those. Don't worry about your tokens for right now. The one that you will be using. Or I guess so. The location you were told to go was to the primary inn at Mahul, where you were to meet up with. What's his name? Gada.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming since most everyone is unfamiliar with this location, they would probably head directly there or ask directions and be headed in there. So I'm going to go
Yeah.
ahead and we're going to kind of push into where Mahul Inn is.
Okay.
Grab your tokens again.
Bunks is just kind of pushing me around tonight.
Yeah, I am. That's what I do, man.
Oh,
Bro, you
kind of
wanted
into
a
it.
dragonborn to step on you. What do you expect?
I mean, if that's not a mood, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
One
Who doesn't
second.
want to get crushed by a dragon booty?
Hang on. It's not. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now we should be able to see. Yes, we can. Perfect. All right. So we'll go ahead and yank you guys over here. So this is the lovely town of
What's this man's? Oh,
Mahul. So as you guys are approaching, let's see. I figure. Let me go ahead and drag around. Obadiah, you would already be inside because you are from here. You two arrive together.
Okay, weird flex, but okay.
Oh.
There's you, and you'd be coming up the road as well. So the rest of you who are approaching the as you're approaching the inn itself, or the inn and tavern, immediately outside you see two burly guards having a conversation. They're wearing very little aside from a shoulder plate and like sort of like a beast metal helmet. So in the form of like a dog,
like
Almost
Like
Anubis.
almost Anubis-y. Like I said, Egyptian.
I see you there. Okay.
There's supposed to be a map right now.
You don't see anything?
I had to reload tanks.
Yeah, go ahead.
You
and
can also
refresh
click
it,
back
which
to
is
landing
great.
page and then click back to Mahul -in, and then you should be able to.
Okay. Noted.
Oh, I'm gonna have to refresh.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and do that.
That's what I had to do.
That's gonna be the usual fix for it.
Beautiful.
Oh, Foundry.
Foundry indeed. Fuck. Big man.
Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, that's pretty.
Howdy.
Ooh, very.
That,
So one of the things that you all would have noticed, where is Obadiah from Mahul, or is he from somewhere else?
yeah, he's from Mahul, worked as
Okay.
Kind of like a street worker for a very long.
Perfect. So he's very aware of like the very hot, dry weather it mostly is. It is very desert-like. But the rest of you, as you come into Mahul for the first time, the biggest thing you notice is there is vegetation, there are plants, there is farming, and as you approach this area where you hear rushing water, there is an actual bridge going over a river that, as far as you can see, it goes around off to the east and then north. But on to the west side, it goes and it kind of goes into a tunnel and then disappears.
Oh,
Interesting.
that is interesting.
Holy shit! It's hotter than a deep fryer in hell out here.
Yeah, so the two of you are so Lift and Vana are very, very toasty right now.
Yes, I'm probably sweating.
I'm sweating my tits off. Why would anybody build a city out here? What the fuck is this?
It's the Vegas of D&D.
Basically.
Well, I'm on like somewhat of a mission, so I'm just gonna take a stroll. Oh shit, it's still paused. I don't know. Is
Oh,
that
my
what we're
bad.
doing?
Thank you.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of just head down kind of mission. I feel pretty comfortable in this environment. Grew up in some hot weather of my own, although not quite as much vegetation, so
I'd say you're probably used to hotter weather. So this
Okay.
is fairly a little bit cooler than you're used to because where you're from there is volcanoes and kind of ash
Right.
and it is just constant source of heat.
okay.
This is like a nice little vacation of the tropics.
That ocean breeze do feel good though. Actually, I don't know if we get that this far in, but
Ocean breeze do feel good though.
So,
Vanna's gonna just like quickly like change out of her outer layer, just like take off like her outer layer of clothing and just like strip to what's the word?
Base layer?
I don't know women's clothes. Bandeau? Is that what it's called? A bandeau?
as a woman, I don't know what a bandeau
like
is.
A bandeau top
just
is
like
just
a
a straight
ban-
Oh,
band.
No,
okay.
She's
Like
gonna
a tube
take
top.
off. She's gonna take off her like outer layer of clothing and just wear like a bandeau.
like a tube top. Got it.
Hotter than balls.
A strapless brassiere.
Yes. I'm gonna go with the assumption that me and Ivana already discussed why we are going to this island while we are on the ship, so there's no
No.
questions asked.
I would
Why we are
assume
here
that you-
together.
You guys had also would have changed into like more comfortable clothing before you got here, so you're probably like wearing the least you can get by with without being inappropriate, because it is quite warm.
Oof. I'm gonna follow.
I'm assuming the bandeau is like appropriate enough then.
Sure, I have no idea what that is, but sure.
Like a tube top, Eric. Where it's like covering
Like
just
a-
the boobs.
it's like a cut-off tube top.
strapless tube top.
Oh, so like the
I
video game
Star
underwear?
Wars quite a bit.
Yes,
Yes.
video
Okay.
game underwear.
Video game underwear is the best way to describe
Yes.
it. All right, perfect. Yeah. I mean, you might get a few looks here and there, but for the most part, everyone ignores you because, as you saw, the guards themselves are wearing very little.
Yeah, I mean
Oh,
it's hot as balls.
This man's has his tits out. Why can't I? I'm gonna follow Vanna in.
Her tits out.
My tits are not out.
he
They're
was
partially.
they
They're
were talking
partially.
about.
They're completely covered. It's
Guard off.
fine.
Anyway.
So as you guys walk in, it's a good bit cooler inside the tavern itself. It like there's no torches to light anything, so it's sort of dim. It looks like it's lit by just windows and cracks in the wall. And
Oh, thank fuck.
as soon as you touch any of the surfaces at all, they're much cooler than like anything outside because they're just protected from the sun.
I immediately just drop myself into like a stool at the bar, plop my ass down, and I catch the eye of the bartender and just ask him for the coldest drink he can serve me.
Yeah.
I'm just
Bartender.
gonna do a small scout while they're doing that.
Hmm.
Just like walk around, see what's familiar to me.
Yeah,
If not,
sure. Bartender, he just nods at the two of you as you come up there, and he reaches under the shelf and he just pulls out a bottle. You can just hear the quick like wood cork pop as it pops open, and then he just sets it on the table and then puts up two like copper glasses and then just hands them to you and then just walks away.
Sweet relief.
It's as you pour as you pour and sample the beverage inside, it seems to be a wine. It seems to be cooler than room temperature, but not
I mean-
cold by any means. There's
Right.
no ice. So
It's like almost tepid, maybe.
yeah.
That makes
Okay.
sense. Okay.
So real quick before you get over there, Karakai, I'm gonna call you Carrie. So-
call me Kai. Don't call
Kai.
me Carrie.
Okay, we're gonna call you Kai. So Kai, before you get over there, Kai, oh my god, I'm gonna have to pause the game because Pablo
Or
or Aaron's just
Kira.
exploring right now.
Aaron, because he's muted.
What, you don't want me to go up there?
Okay.
What-
I'll wait.
You gotta tell me what you're doing so I can like help to kind of push whatever's happening. So before you get over there, Kai, it's as Obadiah and you're sitting there talking with the man because you were able to find him because you know the place, you
I've
know who
been here
stands
before.
out. You've probably seen him around every now and then, but he's been
Yeah.
kind of into his own. He's not said a word to you since you sat down. He is like the entire time he's just been sitting there silently drinking out of a mug.
I just kind of watch him continue to drink.
He just
That's-
keeps. That's all he does.
Evan,
Because so
wow.
Kai is as you walk over, there's just a large purple dragonborn, or a small purple dragonborn. What? Actually, you describe
White.
yourself. Describe yourself.
So as you turn the corner, Obadiah is sitting there. He's fairly scrawny. He's not considered like large. He doesn't look very muscular. He very lanky and almost kind of elongated in a lot of ways. Little to no muscle on his bones. And at like a quick glance, to be fair, it doesn't like there's no defining features. He's not overly muscular. He kind of almost looks gaunt in a few ways. Very pointed features. His horns actually curl back and end in kind of almost like this melting ice kind of on them. Wearing fairly thin layer of robes and a cloak that's draped over one side. His color scheme is more along the lines of like a purples and blues, but he does have two pretty bright blue eyes. I wish I could find my stuff
And-
I made.
sitting across from him is a rather large man. It looks like what you've read about in the descriptions. Bald, tattoos on his face. He is larger than everybody in here by a long shot, to the point that he is, as you walk up, you can very easily notice, like with your passive perception, that the table is not sitting on the ground, it's sitting on his legs. And it's kind of like tilted a bit.
Of course it is.
And he does not look weak by any
hope
means. You hope it's his legs, but
We hope it's on his legs.
he's.
What we assume.
How
is
in
his
the
legs.
world did you get back there? Oh, because that's. Am I really gonna have to make a hang on?
Border.
Goblin do what a goblin do.
There we go. Now there's a wall there because it is a bar.
Well, I'm.
If you're gonna crawl over the bar, you're gonna have to do stuff where you can't just do it.
I didn't know that there was a barrier there.
It's a bar. You never been to a bar before?
You're never allowed to just walk behind the bar.
The... Man,
Oh, we're losing him.
Uh-oh.
While we lose him. So yeah, you can see leather and metal armor. He looks like he's
Wait,
not
who's
dressed for
blue?
the climate.
You.
You for a second. He
Oh.
looks like he is not dressed for the climate by any means.
Does it seem to be bothering him?
No, he seems to not give a shit about it. You can visibly see sweat coming off of his head, but he just seems to be sitting there.
Oh.
I sort of
All right, then.
glance in that direction, and then I just turn back to my tepid wine.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So Obadiah approaching you and your silent dinner guest or dinner mate is I'll let Kai
Sure thing.
explain her name or her.
So I kind of went to this table because I am familiar with the story of who Combative is, and so there's just I kind of immediately he's kind of hard to miss, I guess I'll say. But yeah, so Karakai is just over 6 feet, so very tall, but also pretty lean at the same time. She definitely has some storytelling eyes, and there's something about her too. Very full, very large eyes, full cheeks, brown, dark hair, almost black, but the front has kind of like white coming in. A very sharp but also dainty nose. She's very tan as well. Her features are soft but still somewhat pointed. Her eyebrows kind of go up to like kind of a point too, and there's kind of a sharp tick in her ear as well. She has very storytelling eyes. I don't know if I said that or not
You did.
before either. Okay, my bad. Yeah. So dressed in very dark leathers, with some like crimson accents as well. But yeah, not very smiley yet.
As they turn the corner, I've been kind of keeping an eye around at the awkward situation that I'm in. All amounts of small talk have been squashed. So as Sarakai turns the corner, and I notice like this other, like, she very clearly does look to be an adventurer compared to like the rest of the general populace, right? It looks like
She doesn't blend in normally. But she's
Okay.
not someone you've seen
Okay.
before, at least.
I get like kind of excited, and I stand up and I like outstretch a hand. I'm like, "Oh, hi. Are you with somebody else or?"
I think I belong here, and I'll like return the shake, but like still continue to stand with my back against the wall, observing the room.
All right. I'll
He-
sit back down.
The Goliath,
And the
he looks at Obadiah, and he looks over to Kai sitting on the wall, and then just, and then just continues his drink and sits there. But the two of you at the bar, the bartender walks up to you, and he goes, so, you're new, you obviously are, not from around here, so,
What gave it away?
he just looks you
The
both up
color
and down.
blue.
Not to be racist, but
But clearly not for me.
not a lot of cold-based people here.
Business.
I sort of I'm mid sip of my wine when he says that, and I just sort of lower the cup just low enough so he can see my eyes, and I say, "Oh, you worked all that out on your own, huh?" And then I just go right back to my cup, right back to my sip of wine.
He nods and pulls out a rag and wipes the bar real quickly, and then just kind of walks away, where he catches eyes with a very small thing on the other side of the bar, and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing in here?" He looks over at Malok. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oh, there he is.
I look shocked. Say, what about me? And I back off. Wait, it's paused. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. So I had to pause it whenever you were going places you weren't supposed to be.
I look startled. I back off. It's like, what? I just ask what. I'm a simple goblin.
He kind of leans over the bar a little bit more. He's just like, "Goblin? Talking? Usually they just kill people."
Well, you see, I'm not your usual goblin.
He just,
You wouldn't have seen any of my kind around here, have you?
well, that's the goblins were exterminated on this island.
Oh, so
Oh.
rather than be scared, that doesn't scare Malik. He's more intrigued that it might have something to do with his loneliness, as we'll call it.
Yeah.
His
He-
lack of history.
He sees the lack of fear after he says that as well, and he just spits on the ground next to where he's standing and says, "We don't serve you here."
Oh, did you lose me?
No, he's still
Pretty
here.
sure this guy said not to be racist, but and then he followed it up with that
Oh.
towards a different race. So
Yeah.
someone's colors are showing. That's all.
Yeah.
For a second there, it went silent.
Oh, he's
Well,
he.
you see, I have talents, and I can show them off for a price or knowledge.
This asshole.
He just clears his throat. "I have no interest in, or none of us have any interest in your goblin talents. Steal from me, kill my kids. That's about all your talents are good for."
I don't steal. I have no need for material possessions.
He does that and then just walks away.
Malik has no time for these lowly people that he finds lower status than his.
Racist.
Wretched, dirty. He says Malik is as dirty and as smelly as it comes, and he feels that he's better off with the street urchins.
Strange.
I'm gonna go rummage through these crates.
Whoa!
Yeah, feel free
Get
to
told don't touch
Okay.
shit.
roll me an investigation check. So while you do that, he walks back over to the two of you and goes, "So, are you looking for someone, or?"
He says his hand reads.
Yeah, what's up, Tanks? That's why he came back over to you.
I raise my finger at the bartender. I
Oh.
ask for another round, and I also ask for a glass of ice water.
He just, "If you want water, there's a well outside."
Oh, no ice. That's unfortunate.
And then he
Very unfortunate.
reaches and grabs another bottle, and before he sets it down, he goes, "I need 5 copper for the last one."
No, I'll give him 10 copper.
He takes it and slides it, and then he puts the second bottle back on there.
And I say, look him in the eye. I add a silver to that pile, and I say, sorry for snapping at you earlier. That's
You're too kind. Vaughn.
pretty hot here, and I don't do well in the heat. As you can tell, I'm not from around here.
Heat's not for everyone, Chief.
Cheers.
And he steps back and he's polishing the racks and checking bottles from behind the bar now.
To make
Malok,
like a-
with that, most of those crates out there, they're all filled with a lot of his like tableware, cutlery, plates, bowls, some like grain and flour, mostly supplies for the bar.
Okay. With room that I can burrow out a little place to just kind of hide out from the hot sun and be a little comfortable inside this little crate. That'll suffice for now.
All right.
And if the grain is edible, nibble on it, but probably not. I'll probably
It's-
just lay on it.
Mildly, yeah. I mean, it's grain, so I mean, you can eat it. It's just not going to be any kind of flavor or really nutritious at all.
Yeah.
Gonna be like eating grass.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like you're a farmer just sitting and chewing on wheat or grain, rather.
As I am sitting here, I kind of like look around at the general group, and I'm like, "Is this just us two? What's the plan? I know you don't want to talk to me, but I figured more people would show up."
He doesn't answer at all, but he stands up, and as he stands up, the table lifts to like about a 45-degree angle. A plate just slid off of it and landed on the ground.
Yeah, shit.
And then he then steps back, and it just falls, and you just hear a loud boom as it just hits the ground. And then it's now like it's like one side of it's about 4 to 5 inches lower than it was. And then he steps around to the table and just kind of walks towards the bar.
Should we follow him? And I'll stand up, and I'll just kind of like scurry behind him.
He's
I guess I'm just gonna shrug and kind of look around the corner, but otherwise, yeah, not really go too far.
you can see him sitting and talking to the bartender. He's very quietly talking to the bartender. The bartender nods, walks behind him, pulls a bottle off of the shelf, walks over and hands it to him. He reaches into a pouch and just pulls out a coin, drops it to him, and then begins to head back. He sees you're standing in his way, and he just stares at you. He's pretty imposing. He's probably about a good 2 foot higher than you.
I kind of, I'm 6 foot tall.
He's a Goliath.
And he's a
8?
Goliath.
This boy's
Goliaths
a big
do be that way.
Goliath.
I think
Yeah.
like the shortest Goliaths are 7 feet tall.
No, 5'10".
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
he's a big Goliath. He's like
He's a
he's
big boy.
he's probably around. He probably looks around like a little over 8 feet and probably around
Fuck.
300, 400 pounds. But he
So
does
this
not
guy-
look fat.
So this guy is not medium. This boy large.
He
Yeah.
Lorg.
Large.
But for the purpose of being a humanoid, he takes up one spot.
got you.
The two of you at the bar, you would have very easily seen him as he walked around, and he very clearly stands out and towers over everything.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward to deduce that he's probably the guy we are looking for.
He doesn't exactly slide under like the table. He actually, when he sits down, he lifts the table up and scoots underneath it a little bit and then sets it back down.
What a guy.
That's funny. That's funny as fuck.
I'm just gonna like look at him and kind of just like glance down and around and say like, "You've been quiet for a bit, laying low."
Waiting for more.
Vanna aggressively drinks her wine. Aggressively.
I'm gonna elbow Vanna in the side and say,
I instinctively reach for my sword as soon as I feel somebody touch me. And then I
Chill.
know
"It's
and
me."
then I notice that it's Lift. And I look over at Lift and how'd you end up on the boat over here anyways? I haven't seen you since the bandits.
We talked on the boat. We talked on the boat.
What did we say on the boat?
We talked about what we were doing on the boat.
It's too
And
hot.
why we were here.
It's too hot. I don't remember.
And that we were on this quest.
I've had 3 wines already. What happened?
You're delirious.
Jesus
Got it.
Christ.
That's great.
We accepted this bounty, remember? We talked about it on the boat, but you're probably a couple glasses of wine deep, so I wouldn't expect you to remember.
Right. Bounty.
And that Goliath there, that was at the bar, he's the man we're looking for. We should probably head over and see what he has to say.
Okay. Fine.
Finish
I'll
your
finish my
wine.
wine. And before we head over, I'm gonna get water real quick. Oh, I guess I'll wave at him for like a flagon or something so I can get some water.
Just use your glass.
He kind of steps over and he sees you're asking for water. There's a bucket.
Okay.
Charming. Can't even
All right.
afford
I'll
glasses
get a
here,
big ol'-
apparently.
I just take the thing I was using for wine and fill it with water.
So when you reach down and like you have to like roll the bucket back up, and after a few seconds of rolling, it comes up full of water. It looks clean. It looks fairly clean, and it actually is colder than the wine that you are having.
Oh, thank God for
That's
that.
refreshing.
So it's
Right,
probably around like a good 50 degrees as opposed to like 60 to 70.
I splash some on my neck,
Mint.
and then I fill my cup with it.
Alright. I'm gonna head over to my thick man's over here.
All right.
I thought I was your dick bitch.
That's a man's.
Well, technically, Vanna's a woman, isn't she?
I know. That's why I specified thick man's.
So as soon as the two of you sit down, he looks around and he goes, "Is this it?"
I think so. Man, I've been here an hour and a half. I really
You're
hope it's-
early.
I'm parched.
He,
I-
upon seeing everybody sit down, he pops out like he's got a stack of cups next to him that he just pulls up, and you probably haven't noticed yet, and he just sets them all on the table. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then he pulls it out, and you hear the cork pop as he Malak, you can kind of hear the cork pop as he does that as well as you turn that corner, and he just starts pouring like a clear red liquid, a clearish red liquid into it, in each one of them. And the bottle itself is very ornate, and he closes it. He affixes it to his hip, and then slides a mug or a cup to Vanna, a cup to Lift, a cup to Obadiah, and then he reaches up a hand with a cup to Kai.
Grab it and retreat
Mhm.
back to my wall.
He sees
Whenever he hands me the lukewarm liquid, I'm going to use some of my dragon's breath to make it very cold. I'll just on it for a second, and then it's like icy and frosty.
Okay. So as you do that, he leans to the left a little bit. You can kind of hear the table creak as he moves. He goes, "Little one, who are you?"
Notice there's something standing behind me.
Oh. Never mind me. I'm Malik.
He's basically fucking The
Hi.
Office when Dwight's in the fucking arcade. And she walks up behind him. He goes, fuck!
Ah, fuck.
Something walks up behind me, and we're having the conversation, and then he speaks, and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
He takes the last cup and he looks at it for a second, and then he drops it on the table, and it just kind of skitters across the table to where Malak is. Malak, are you gonna grab it?
Yeah, I'll grab it.
Make me a quick dex check.
Oh, fuck.
So if you open up your character sheet,
Yeah, I'm looking for it
yep,
here.
just click
Do I
the
just
word
hit the dex
dexterity,
button?
and then just click
Ability?
yep, ability check. Yeah, you got it pretty easily. Like it starts to skitter at you, and it actually falls off the table. And for those of you sitting next to him, Malak very quickly he just catches underneath the bottom of it, and is just holding it like this. He just kind of nods his head approvingly. The Goliath does.
We have
And-
a showman.
He looks to Lift. He goes, "You, around? Who are you?"
Lift.
I mean, Malik doesn't know who
Jeez.
Malik is.
She just picks up her glass, frowns a little bit, and takes a small sip.
He picks up the bottle since he doesn't have a cup, and he takes a swig from it as soon as you do that. Then he looks to Obadiah. "You, dragon, who are you?"
Oh, I'm Obadiah. It's nice to meet everybody.
He takes a swig
How's
and then
everybody doing?
looks at Vanna and says, "You, who are you?"
I think AA.
Vanna.
Nods, takes a swig, points to Kai. "You,
Karakai. I like
Nods.
tip my cup.
He closes the bottle and he passes it to his hip again. He goes, "So, you're the ones who answered the call. You're all ready to die."
That's right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now,
Especially
Malik
with the
just
heat out here.
What?
I don't think. I don't intend to die.
Nobody
It's a
intends to die.
suicide mission.
I mean, be that as it may, I don't intend to
Oh,
die.
let me move this up here. Sorry, I gotta move the camera. I gotta remember how to keep moving it.
Mm.
Nobody intends to die, but it happens. So, what makes you think you can do this? He looks at Obadiah specifically since he was the one to talk up.
I mean,
What can you bring to my team?
I got some fun. I'm really good at talking to people. If that's what you need. I don't know what the quest entails, but you know, that's what I'm good at. I kind of stammer on my words for a second. I got some spells, if that's what you're looking for.
Magic and an ego, okay.
I wouldn't say an ego per se, but yeah, I guess ego is the best word.
He looks. He then interrupts you and looks at Lift and goes, "What about you?" He seems to have no regard for what most of you have to say. Just by his nature on it, you could very easily tell that he just doesn't care.
Mm.
Yeah.
I have healing magic. Feel like that's pretty beneficial.
Make it a harder or an easier suicide mission.
Yep.
Means it'll take longer to die. He looks at Malak. You're nimble.
I mean, you don't really have too many high expectations in me anyway, so I guess take it for what it is.
Yeah. Goblins are good for things. He looks over
That we are.
to Vana. And you?
I'm pretty handy with most weapons, I suppose. I was a soldier for a while. I know a bit about battlefield strategy. I know my way around survival, fieldcraft. I know some basic spells as well.
A soldier. Good. You. Not quite elf.
Ooh, shit.
So it's
Hey.
pretty obvious that my character has got some pretty sharp weaponry about her. But she's just gonna be holding the mug, and then she's just gonna set it on fire in her hands and say, "I have my tricks."
All right. A showman, a liar, a soldier, a healer, and a goblin.
Did I lie? No.
He stands up and the table. Right as he does, the glass falls. Another glass falls off the table. He looks around and the drink, for those of you who drank it, it was a very sweet, very fermented wine.
Mm.
And
Oh, I did drink it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
and it
I'm
was-
just-
yeah, it was something that it tasted like something that you would probably not buy normally, like a very, very expensive taste,
Ooh, it's
So,
deluxe.
so like a port wine. It sounds like.
like a very aged wine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that I've seen everyone else drink it, or somebody else drink it and not die, I'll reach for one of the cups and take it.
Real quick, since you're from here, Mahul, make a actually no, your passive perception, you would have seen the bottle and you would have been able to kind of just see it. So you would know that it is a very fine wine that's produced at the brewery here. There is one batch produced every so often. If you wanted to find out more about it, you could feel free to roll a history check to find out, but that's basically what it's very expensive. You've seen it on the shelves in the bar before, and it's usually around 30 gold per bottle.
I will, just on that information alone, I'll be like, oh shit, oh god,
Better
I'm
drink it, boy.
fucked. Yeah, I will take, does he leave the bottle on the table?
No, he has it on his hip.
Fuck. I'll carry my mug with me as he walks away, and I assume that we're supposed to follow, but I don't really know.
He kind of shrugs,
So-
and kind of like shrugs and nods his head towards the door as he walks out or starts walking out. Then he walks over to the bar. Before he does, he hits his hand on the bar, and then like pretty loudly, the bartender jumps behind the bar, looks over, and goes, "Yeah, yes," and he goes, "Clear them out. I need to test them." And he goes, he sighs and like looks kind of withdrawn on it. And he goes, "Yeah, all right."
As soon as Vanna hears this, she just downs the whole wine instantly.
Oh yeah.
The people get ushered away.
You're gonna be litty.
Anything. I look over at Liv to say anything cold right now.
I get that. I miss the ice.
He,
If I don't cool off soon, I might literally die.
Don't be dramatic. You'll
He-
live, Goliath.
he walks over to here, and then he takes off the like this huge fur coat that he has, like it's a fur cloak. He just takes it. He doesn't actually like take it off. He just takes the straps around his neck and he just pulls them, and they snap off of the cloak, and it just falls to the ground. His armor is very reminiscent of like a legionnaire, like just solid brass of like a chest plate, like a chiseled chest.
Okay.
Obadiah, with your passive perception, you can see a little bit that it looks like the armor was custom made for him and almost like he was modeled after him, but you can see that he's lost a little bit of it.
Like a little weight.
Not like
Sucks for him.
not like a lot, but he's lost a little bit of it.
Of his chiseled muscles.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now that he has done that, let me pull up his character sheet so you can see what he has.
All I know is that homie's thick.
2 C's. 3 C's, I would wager.
Oh, absolutely 3 C's, if not 4.
Once that falls down, you can see what looks like a small bit of a pole behind 2 poles behind his back. He pulls out one of them, and it's just a great axe that just comes around with him.
Okay.
Okay.
See, now this is a problem.
And he goes, "I need to make sure that you guys are going to be alive for longer than a day."
I mean, that's fair. Huh.
I didn't get to pick my spells.
So what the hell's going on?
I guess you don't have any spells then. That's going to suck.
I forgot.
Oh, get fucked.
Well, we were so concerned about everything else, I didn't think about it.
Backstory, it was only the one day. You still had your access
No,
to your
like-
character sheets online.
No, like 20 minutes
I got my
beforehand. I
spells.
didn't think about it. That sucks.
Let's
Well-
see. What
Okay.
what class are you?
I'm
Cleric, she can literally pick from all.
Oh
of
yeah,
them.
you just have all of them.
Oh, I don't have to prepare spells?
You do have to
Yeah.
repair spells.
Just quickly go
Oh.
through and prepare the amount of spells you're supposed to have prepared real quick.
So
Okay.
the flagon. I start to just kind of like slowly walk into the main area of the bar, with the flagon I was using to drink water from, and when I get about halfway across the room, I throw it at him, and then as soon as it's on the way toward like right at his face, I draw my sword and charge him.
What the fuck?
All right.
Oh, so we're just getting into this.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to distract him, catch him off guard, and then I'm literally just charging him with the sword.
All right. So the
No.
it has mostly gone quiet in here. Everyone is like sitting and watching now. So as you rush forward, let me go ahead and get the correct.
I was trying
By
to
the way,
read that.
Kat, you can
Yeah.
prepare a number of spells equal to your wisdom modifier plus half, plus your level.
Okay.
In case you needed the number. So 4 plus whatever your wisdom modifier is, which I believe is also 4, so you get 8.
It's 3.
So you get 7.
So.
All
And they
right.
can be up to level 2.
Let me make sure I can trying to get everybody in on the view.
And
Okay.
cantrips do not count.
There we go.
Yeah. That I that I know.
So before you charged, he pointed down to get to everyone below the stairs.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that I draw a sword? No. I meant to say that I draw both of my short swords, one in each hand.
Okay. And then you charge him. Go ahead and charge him.
Do I get anything for the distraction of the flagon that I threw at him?
You get to roll initiative.
You get to roll initiative.
There you go.
All right, so just do the initiative thing, just like normal.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyone that's gonna fight, make sure you toggle battle mode by right-clicking your token and clicking the sword and shield.
Okay, a second.
Yikers.
So we're fighting this guy?
He seems
Apparently, he wants to throw us through a gauntlet before he trusts us. Which I mean's fair.
How do we fight this thing?
right-click your token and click the sword and shield, and now go to the little fist in the top right corner,
Roll.
Yeah.
and then
Die.
there you go.
Alright.
Oh fuck! Why am I first? What the fuck?
You rolled highest.
Oh,
So-
I was not.
Yep, it's not actually
Yeah,
you
I didn't
first.
wanna be-
It's Vanna first
well,
Bottom.
because she did the first action.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So I attacked.
Oh, no!
I attacked before the initiative roll, right?
Yeah.
That would be
So-
a surprise round.
So Vanna,
I don't
go
know
ahead
if
and
it's
so you
surprise.
said you charged him and
Yeah. I
And
charge
he did
him,
kind of say, "Come and fight me."
and I make a attack on him with each of my short swords. So, hang on a second. Inventory. So just 2 short sword clicks, right? Or two attacks with the short sword.
I believe so. I'll leave it to nope. Bear says no.
We get extra attacks this level, sadly. That's why I was pushing for us to start at 5th.
But I have.
Do you have dual wielder?
I have 2 weapon fighting proficiency.
So
Or
on
that's
your,
my fighting style.
yeah, so your first strike's with your main, your second strike would be your bonus action. So as long as you just don't do a bonus action, good.
Okay, so I get a bonus action for so I am rolling 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just uses up any bonus. Okay, so 1 attack and 2 attack.
So as you rush forward and go to it, the first one, your sword comes down and he just smacks it to the side, and the second one, as it comes up, he catches it with his axe and takes both of your swords, rips them out of your hand, and then throws them towards the bar. And so they
Okay.
land over here.
Okay.
Yikers.
So this is where they're at, right there in that circle. So you'd have to move to them to pick them up.
Fuck!
It's
Okay.
free. It's free to pick them up, but you have to move to them to pick them up.
Why did I roll so low
Then
on
you got
rolled
nat
two natural
ones.
ones, my
I'm
friend.
supposed to be a fucking soldier, ranger, like, hello? Don't I have
You just-
stats for
the thing
this?
is-
You just
The
rolled
thing
nat
is,
one
it
though.
wasn't your fault. It wasn't
It
your
was
fault
just
that you.
unlucky.
It was the dice.
He was just prepared for it, which is terrifying.
Which the mechanic of it is you just happen to roll a 1. The story of it is he was just ready and just threw your weapons across the room like toys.
Okay.
So next is Malok.
Unlucky.
Wait, ain't I last?
Nope. You're after Ivana.
I'm gonna go get another
Yeah.
beer. I will be back.
Okay.
So I'm not last?
Yeah, we're just starting it from where it started because I just had everyone roll initiative just to kind of jump into it. But normally it would be whoever's first, but next turn it starts with Lift. So he's not attacking until the very end, which is very fitting.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I'm not entirely sure what spells I can cast.
They should be under your actions. No, they won't be. They'll be under. Actually, yeah. If you go to your actions on your character sheet,
Spell book, is it the ones that are purple?
go to the actions button,
Okay.
and that's all your spells in there that you can cast.
Oh,
Oh,
I
look
see.
at us, guys. We have we got 10 viewers.
I think that's
We
everyone
have
here.
11. At one
All
point.
right,
Well,
so it
there's
says here.
Less than 10 people.
Doesn't
in
matter
here.
how many viewers we have. This is just for fun.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
cast blindness on him, blindness, deafness.
Okay.
Ooh.
And I don't know, just click on the dice or what?
Yeah, click on the dice on the left
Yeah.
side of it.
Alright.
And now, so it's a saving throw DC 14. So I have to make a saving throw real quick. Hang on. So you don't have to do anything. That's just me.
It says that I have to do the roll.
No, I have to do a DC 14. So he fails. So he is now. So what does it look like whenever you cast that?
What do you mean? What does it look like?
Like
Oh,
when you
how
cast
do-
the spell, what does it look like when it goes to his face to
So-
blind him and deafen him?
So I look inconspicuous. I just kind of pull out some fungus out of my pocket. Doesn't look like anything. There might be like a rat knuckle bone in there, just some random meat. You know, the junk that you'd find on the street corner that turns to dust after a while. Like but it's not worth anything. It's just
Or
it's
the-
not
the
even
rubbish that you just went
qualified as
through.
a trinket. It's just literal random objects of
Trash.
trash. And
Beautiful.
I blow on it, and it just creates this like puff, like this. Think of like a spore cloud puff,
Ooh.
and it just kind of dissipates into the air, but it just like invisibly hits him in the face.
So
How's that?
at that point, you see like Cole kind of go around his eyes, and like it kind of like from his side, when it hits him, it seeps into his eyes and into his ears, and you can see like his eyes are like they have like bright dry red eye look now.
I
as
do
he's
want to
unable
be
to see.
clear. I have to choose blind or deaf. It's not both, so I'll just
Oh.
choose blindness.
Okay, so
I don't
he
want-
is yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah, sorry. He is so his eyes are bright red, but he looks like he's just blinking constantly.
Poor guy.
I'm
Like,
not sure
pepper
what it
spray?
does. What does blind do for me?
If he makes an attack, it requires he gets disadvantage on it now.
Mm,
Oh,
nice.
Good enough.
And
Yeah.
also, if you're with him, if you're making a melee strike against him, you also have advantage.
Okay.
And he cannot make attack of opportunity.
Okay, so
Cool.
that's my action, right? Now I have a bonus and a reaction, right?
Just
Yep.
bone.
A reaction you can use at any time if you have something that allows you to do that. So
Right,
if you scroll down to bonus actions on the actions page, you can see your bonus actions. And if you want to know what they do, you can just click on the name of it, and it'll expand it down so you can read them real quick.
Ooh, how much spell slot do I get? I guess I'll cast Chalet with my bonus action. I don't think I
Okay.
need to do anything.
Shillelagh's a
That's-
cantrip, so it doesn't cost you anything to use.
oh,
And then it should auto deduct. It did. So it's blind and deafness was a second level spell, so it auto deducted the spell slot, so you're good.
Alright.
So go ahead and you gotta. Okay, so you just turn your item into a shillelagh.
Yeah, and I guess I have a reaction I can use.
That's usually if something is done.
Well, it's my Halo of Spores uses the reaction, so I could chuck some mushrooms at him.
That's if he moves within 10 feet of you.
Right, but I
Yeah.
can chuck that into a location, I believe.
No,
Or
only
or
whenever
no,
he moves within 10 feet of you, or he starts his turn within 10 feet of you. Can you do
oh,
that?
I see. That's when I do it. Okay.
Yeah. Reaction, something else has to happen first.
There is an ability where I can chuck it, but I guess that's the action.
Mm.
Symbiotic
Mhm.
entity, maybe.
Yeah,
never
probably.
mind.
All right.
Yeah.
So then next up, we have lift.
On lip.
I am gonna hit him with a guiding bolt.
Hell yeah, you will.
All right, go ahead and roll it for me. Roll the attack.
Normal.
Does not hit him.
Mm.
Oh, it's with it. Nope, it's with advantage. No, it's not. No, never mind. Just kidding. I lied. So yeah, so as the bolt kind of flies to him, it's almost like he can still hear the kind of the magical spell coming from it, and then he just instinctively dodges one way, and it just goes right past him.
That spell can miss?
Yeah, I didn't roll high enough for it to hit him. I'm gonna pee.
Yep.
Well, it's not my turn. I'm done.
Obadiah.
All right. As I kind of just watch this happen, I'm like, oh shit, oh god. I am then going to cast from the conversations, does he seem like a wise person? Do I roll insight for that, or is that
not
just like a?
if you were to do it right now, it would be your action.
Yeah, fuck that then. As soon as I see the spores cluster around, I pull a little bundle of string out of my hand and I wrap it between one finger and drag it across to the other, and I will cast Hold Person. He has to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Oops. Hang on, I gotta fix something real quick because I did something wrong. There we are. Attributes. Boop. Boop. Okay, so a wisdom saving throw. Nat 20.
Fuck off.
Ooh.
So as you can kind of see the spell kind of taking hold of him, he's still blind, his eyes are red and like he's blinking constantly, but he just like kind of throws his arms down and then just kind of lets out like a and then stays
That is
moving.
rude. And then as that happens, I'm like, well, yeah. And I
He's-
like jumble the string back in one hand, and I'll take a few steps over to the side.
He's blind, but even as this happens, as you step, you can see his head following you. He very clearly can't see you, but he just seems to know where you are now. Just from that. It's just flavor, don't worry. Alright, next up, Kai.
Woo. Okay. I'm going to close the distance and use my bonus action to dash his way.
Oh, that's a
Select one
maneuver.
token.
Hmm?
Dash his way. As soon as I approach him, I'm going to draw out my short sword and just give him a good old slice. And because I'm assuming, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Vanna is really close to him,
That's
and
advantage.
because he's blind.
Well, you have to be on opposite sides for flanking, so it's going to be just advantage.
What?
Vonna, her being close to him doesn't change anything because you're not flanking him because you have to be on opposite sides to be flanking.
Just move another 5 feet.
But you don't need
He's
an
asking
advantage
in
on the
case for
attack
sneak
if another
attack.
enemy.
Oh, you're doing
of
sneak
the
attack.
target
Never
is
mind.
within
Yes, you
5
are
feet.
correct. Sorry, I thought you were just doing it for flanking.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
no worries.
You already did have advantage because he is blind. So.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure because it says incapacitated and didn't say blind, so they're both there. But yeah.
Oh, you did some damage?
All right, so the 22 he does hit,
And then I'm gonna use my remaining.
even though you
Oh,
didn't
I
roll
What
think
are
it.
the dice for?
If you
Yeah, never mind.
if you want to roll the another attack roll to see if you get a nat 20, you can. Because you didn't roll with advantage, you should though. Yeah, you're supposed to roll with advantage.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
you
blind.
You hunt. Yeah, he's blinded.
Oh, okay.
You hunt
I
those
was-
natural 20s.
Yeah. Yep. 22 hits.
Oh.
So you do 2 good strikes on his arm.
Not once today.
So 2 good strikes on his arm, and one of them like hits pretty good, and that's what 13. Okay. He kind of recoils. You can see his arm flex, and like some of the blood kind of start to dribble down a little bit. And that brings us to his turn. All right. So let me make sure I add this effect so I don't forget. He is blind right now. So he is going to swing at the person who just struck him, which is Kai right next to him, and with disadvantage. So he swings, and when he swings, it goes clear over top of you, and it just slams into the wall next to him.
scared.
And that is the... no, he can do multi-attack, so he gets to do it again. He just rips it out. And as he rips it out, it just goes clear over top of you again. And it stops before it hits Fauna, as he realizes he hasn't hit, and then he relaxes. Now he has to make another Constitution save to see if he stays blinded. He stays blinded.
Good.
God, he's proficient in this too. Why is he fucking failing them? He actually would have succeeded the first one, but I forgot to put his proficiency on there, so...
I don't have a high armor class either, and like I already used my bonus to run, so I don't really like being this close. So I'm like, woohoo!
All right, Vana, it is now your turn. Your weapon is over, like your sword's over by the ground right there.
Right.
And since he's
I
blind,
will-
he cannot take an attack of opportunity.
He failed that roll. Huh?
So I could have moved.
I will draw my dagger,
All right.
and I will attack him with my dagger. Blind is with advantage.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Nat 20.
Nice.
There it is.
All right, go ahead and roll your damage.
2 nat ones.
Okay. And then let me see. Hang on.
That's adorable.
Okay, yeah, roll damage. A normal roll.
Critical hit.
Oh, critical hit. Okay.
9 damage. All right. So you stab it like pretty good into him. Oopsie.
Okay. So, did drawing the dagger use my bonus?
No, you can draw an attack
So
in the same action.
Okay, so now I will also follow that up with an. I use the dagger, presumably one-handed. I'm going to follow that up with an unarmed strike. With advantage, right?
Yep. Nat 20 again. Go ahead and roll the damage for
There
critical
it
hit.
is. You're insane.
Damage, critical hit.
You know, high low all day.
Right, perfect. So you give him a like. Where do you hit him?
So I throw a strong elbow strike right to his jaw.
So
I just snap it off like that.
So when the dagger comes in, you plunge it pretty good, like in a spot, like right next to his armor where it ends, and just right into him. And then as he kind of leans down, because he's a pretty tall guy. He's a little taller than you still, but he comes down to about your elbow height perfectly, and you just bring it across, and he just turns sideways. He goes,
Yep.
he's heavily breathing,
Yep.
and you're able to pull the dagger out. All
Yep.
right.
That's for making me sweat more in this heat.
Next is Malik.
For some reason, I thought I could throw these spores around, but I don't see where it is on the sheet.
Throw these hands, dude. That's what you got to do.
Catch the hands.
Catch
So,
the hands.
Instead,
The spores you can throw only if they're close enough to you. Throw them.
right. Well, I mean, I am close enough. It's just I think maybe I'm not high enough level to have that ability. Maybe I thought I was. I thought it was part of the symbiotic entity.
You might not have had that spell prepared right now, is why.
Well, it's
That's the class
it's
ability.
prepared. It's
Oh.
part of the class. I'll just let me look at the. You know what? I'll just shoot a poison spray at him.
Mm-mm.
Is that right? Do you have to roll a DC save?
Yep. He rolls his roll save. Give me 1 second. He saves. So what is that? So as soon as he so it's whenever you like throw that little spray of poison at him, it kind of goes right towards him, and at the moment it's about to hit him, you can see him just closes his mouth, and he doesn't seem to take a breath as it just kind of goes right past him and just kind of fades into the wall behind him.
All right. I don't think I have any other.
Just so you know, since you used that, you have to be within 10 feet of him, which is two squares away.
The poison spray.
Yeah, that's a 10 feet range. I just saw that.
Oh, okay.
I'm giving you like benefit of the doubt right now. Well, as you guys kind of get used to it a little more, I'll stop doing that. But
No, that's fine. I can't read this sheet. I think I'm done.
If you want, you can click the button at the top of it that says pop out. It'll open it up in a new window if you have 2 monitors.
Yeah, I did. I just
Okay.
accidentally keep closing it.
All right. Lift.
You guys being like so close in combat are like limiting me in what I can do right now. Like I have many spells that would be great, but like y'all being in the same vicinity, kind of fucking me.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't want to be this close, but I had to.
Cause I don't want to have to force you guys to make saving throws at the same time. I think I'm just gonna use Guiding Bolt again. I'm gonna cast it at 2nd level. Is it still? No, it's not an advantage. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I missed.
Does miss. So it comes to him
Yeah.
again, and he just instinctively dodges again because he can just hear the tinkling of the crackling in the air coming at him.
There's not much else I can do.
The beauties of being level 4.
No, it's more like the beauties of 2 of our people being in this same exact spot as him, and me not being able to use 3 of my spells.
All right.
All right, Obadiah.
Okay. I kind of take a second, and I seem to have the same problem, and I go to start to cast a spell, and I'm like, shit, can't see, but do fuck all. So I'm then going to change the incantation, and I'm going to throw Bane his way. Go.
All right. What is the? It's not giving me a stat for it.
Oh, it's 15. Charisma saving throw.
Charisma. Okay. He does fail that one.
Okay. For the next minute, I believe. Yeah, for the next minute, he every time he makes an attack roll or saving throw, he has to subtract 1d4 from it. I'll roll it anytime he rolls, and we'll
Okay.
just deduct.
All right. Is that your turn?
As soon as I cast it, I'm like, oh well, shit, and I will step. No, I'm not gonna get in Sarakai's way. I'll take a few steps down the stairs, and I'll try and get like a better straight line angle to him.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Kai.
Yeah, so I'm nice and close and personal, and I think my sneak attack. I know I'm being that rogue person already, but would sneak attack work still? I've never been a
Yep.
rogue, so I
You
just
have a
wanna
certain
make
amount of
sure.
sneak attacks.
Okay.
I thought you get unlimited.
No,
sneak
it's
attack.
unlimited.
Oh,
You
is
just
it?
get 1 per turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
You got it as long as you have advantage, and you'll have advantage as long as he's blind.
Cool.
A sneaky snake.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll advantage on your attack.
Why did 3 go? Just
Because you have elven accuracy.
Jesus Christ.
Mm.
Elven
Oh.
accuracy, you roll 3 dice, take the highest of the 3.
Ha! I forgot about that.
All right. So
Okay.
that does
Okay.
hit.
Okay. That makes me happy.
Oh,
And then
7, 7, 14.
And then I do that while I'm just like kind of running behind him, slash it around as I make my way over here.
So you land several good hits on him as he's sitting there. You just get a couple good stabs and cuts on him, and he seems to be like just in worse for wear right now. He doesn't look like he's like you've done some good damage to him. He's not he's kind of bloodied. You get a couple good like deep gashes across his back and his legs as he's doing that.
Woohoo!
Then we get to his turn.
Hold on, at the beginning of his turn, since he starts within 1d4, I get to roll this, right?
Yep.
As a reaction. I think
Yep.
You have to
I had to do a DC
save for it.
Constitution. Constitution. Concentrate. Fucking Constitution saving throw.
And he subtracts 1d4 from that.
Go ahead and roll a 4. He's got a 17 then.
7.
Yep.
Damn.
He rolled a 21. Well, he got a 21 because of his bonuses. So he, what is that?
I think.
Okay, so he doesn't take any damage. He just, he seems to just like be holding his breath again, still from the last one. Like he doesn't know when it ended.
Lesson from the first time, huh?
And so at the beginning of his turn, now he raises up his axe with both hands, and then he puts it on his back, and then just kind of straightens up, and he seems to just have stopped fighting.
Cool. I'll immediately disengage and
I sheath my
Glad I
dagger.
did nothing.
I will cancel Bane.
I resheath my backup weapon and I go retrieve my swords and sheath those as well.
Glad I did nothing.
He starts to clean out his eyes.
yeah, we kind of put a
Love
wall in front of all your attacks.
I
He-
literally
Belonging our
have 3
bodies.
spells that I can use on him at this range that would have just fucked everybody in that area, and I'm just like,
What do you have? I'm so confused.
What?
I come
He
I come
finally
over to him.
clears his
I
eyes
come
out as
over
well.
to him and I put my hand on his arm and I cast Cure Wounds.
Hey, bear.
How many points do you do that for?
6.
6.
I heard my name. What's up?
Oh, I'll send it to you in a message.
Hit me.
I'll cast Cure Wounds.
He also he pulls out the bottle that he had before. He pops the top off of it, and then he drinks from it, and he kind of just sits there and chugs it for a second. And as he chugs it, you can see the rest of the wounds on him start to close up very quickly.
How do I send a private message?
/whisper and then space bear.
yeah, have we added a macro?
Oh, I can
for
add it.
No.
Hang on. We'll have to teach him how to get to it though.
Yeah. I figured that would just be easier to
Yeah.
later on.
Okay, so it is in here. So to get the macro, make it easy for you, Aaron. At the very
Yeah.
bottom where you have the hot bar of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever.
Yeah.
Click the little folder to the left,
Yeah.
and then make sure you have permissions for it. Hang on. Might have to close it and reopen it.
Okay, so far I do not.
Yep. Everyone is observer. Save changes. Boom. Okay. So now if you close it and reopen it, you should see one that says, if you go to search macro, or you should see one that says whisper players. Just click and drag that one down to the number 1 on your hotbar, and then anytime you press 1, it'll pop up with a window. You can just check box who you want to send the message to, and then type the message below and hit whisper.
Okay.
Oh, that's neato.
Makes it a little
I
easier.
also needed that. Thanks.
Yeah. So after with the healing spells and that, and then him drinking that bottle, you can see all the wounds that he had very cleanly clear up, even down to the point like the blood on his body kind of just dries really quickly, and he's just sitting there. Why are you
don't
typing
think that
/
worked.
whisper?
Sorry, I fucked it up. I was
Oh.
trying to make it and I fucked it up.
Oh, you don't want to make the macro yourself. It's a nightmare.
Oh,
The coding on it is about 4 pages long.
how
I
do I
might
do
be
it
able-
then? What's
Click
the
the
easy way to make it?
click the folder at the very bottom left,
Okay.
and then this should be a macro that says whisper players. Click and drag that down to the slot 1.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
I'll delete those for you, don't worry. No one will know, except for the video archive. But so
So everyone will know.
No
He
one
does
will
that.
know except all of us.
after he finishes the bottle, he takes it, and he tosses it over to the bartender. You can see the bartender tries to catch it, and he jumbles it, and just ends up dropping the bottle on the floor, and it shatters. And then he just shrugs, and he looks around at everyone. The first time you've seen him show any emotion, he lets a little smile out, and he goes, "You'll all do nicely." He walks over, and he picks up the swords that he threw against the bar, picks them up and hands them back to Vana.
Vana mutters under her breath, "Your mom did nicely."
Hang on, let me roll a perception check from him.
Oh no! Fuck.
Yes.
He wasn't paying attention. He didn't hear it.
Oh, you got lucky this time.
Ooh.
He was very he was more distracted, flipping a coin to the bartender as well, another gold coin.
Oh.
He immediately pulls. He then after he hands you your sword, he pulls out the pouch he's been pulling coins from, and he pulls out 20 gold, and then hands it to Vanna. Pulls out 20 gold, hands it to Lift. Pulls out 20 gold, and he holds it up for someone else to come and get.
Grab.
Pulls out another 20,
Yeah.
hands it to Kai, and pulls out another 20 and holds it out for the goblin.
Guys, we're rich.
Says after you take that, he goes, "That's for accepting the contract. That's the bonus for getting past the initiation.
How
Can
many
I
people
ask
don't
a-
make it past the initiation?
You're the first ones."
Nope.
Is it experience that you personally add to our inventories, or do you also do coin? Wondering for our character.
Go ahead and add the coin for yourself right now.
Oh,
For
Okay.
those of you who don't know, go to
figure it
inventory,
out.
and above the very top of your inventory, there's a spot that says GP. Just add 20 to that.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
It just says platinum, gold, electrum, silver,
Oh, does it?
copper.
Then just add it where the
No.
gold is. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You played this before.
Barely.
He then straightens his back and he kind of like rubs his arm in like the spots where he got nicked, and he just looks around. He's like, "Nimble little bastards." And he's like, "Well, I have an audience with the king in a few hours, so we have time to wait if you need to do anything, because once this train starts, it's not stopping."
Doesn't look like I got anything better to do.
Yeah, to be fair, I kind of blocked out the whole day for this.
I pick up the flagon
Jesus
on the ground, and I go outside and I get more water.
I agree. I need some fucking water.
He walks up to the bar and he puts a couple silver on it, and then he reaches behind the bar and just pulls a bottle out from under it, and just walks. He just then starts walking back to the table.
Okay. I'm going to the bar.
All right, and so that is where we're gonna take our first little break. So you guys can go get snacks, get drinks, get water, whatever you need to do. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I will be happy to help out.
Hi,
let me go.
Taylor.
Was she in there?
Yeah, she's watching.
Oh Lord, I'm so sorry.
Hi, Taylor.
Taylor, the one saying hi is Casey. Yellow shirt's Eric.
No, it's not. It's
Kat
Bear.
is the one. Oh, I guess I am also wearing the
feel
dapper
like she would
fellow
know.
with his hair put well is Tank, and then Kat is wearing glasses.
Wait, who are we talking
I
to?
have an
His-
alien.
Girlfriend.
My girlfriend. She's
Oh.
watching.
Oh, hi.
All
I
right.
heard
Hello,
so
nice
much
to
about
meet
you.
you.
So we're gonna take a quick 5-10 minute break. So and then when we come back, everything will be up and running again.
Dope. We're gonna chew.
You're gonna have to ban yourself.
Expose the fruit snacks.
Oh my god, the fruit snack's coming out. Oh,
I didn't know. I didn't know. I forgot there's a delay on the stream, and I was like in the process of swallowing my microphone.
I'm
Linwood Mac, thanks for the
Chris?
follow. I'm guessing that's Nathan.
Yeah.
I can't watch.
And Taylor, hello. Everyone says hello again, Taylor.
It's not light blue.
Inappropriate.
Scooby is clear.
I can't.
Scooby looks blue to me. I don't
He's
know.
not clear. He used to be like a foggy light blue. Now he's clear. I can't eat this. I'm mad.
Is it supposed to be blue or is it supposed to be clear? Because that looked
He
blue.
tastes the same. He tastes the
But
same.
it's not the same.
I know, but
It's
it does
not
taste the same. Taste it.
There's a reason you weren't supposed to go through those rooms, Quablar.
Wait, what?
The rooms that you went around in and explored, those are on the second floor.
Where? I didn't understand where I went. It looked like
Yeah,
it was back
I
there.
know, because I forgot to. Those are the 2 doors I forgot to lock.
That makes me so sad.
But these
like they're
rooms
not.
up here, Eric.
What's the
I'm
problem?
going to
Yeah,
continuously
which-
keep
which
everybody
rooms?
in combat. It's just bedrooms.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, so I did not know how
I
to
was
go foul then, right?
Yeah, you're not supposed to just walk around freely. You're supposed to tell me what you're doing, so I can tell you what you see, what you hear. Otherwise, you're
Oh.
just walking around a map.
I was just walking around map. I didn't see anything.
Yeah,
Didn't see
no.
anything.
Gotta let me know what you're doing.
Are we hopping back in?
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and we'll pick it back up right there. So you guys have started drinking. Well, if you guys do anything in the meantime while you are sitting and drinking with him, he's
I'm
very quiet
watching
again.
That elf guy. That's all. He's probably just a regular customer, but I'm like,
Which one?
Mhm.
He's got a boner for the elf.
The dark elf.
Oh,
Mm.
he's sitting. He's nursing a cup with wine in it, sipping it every now and then. He's not partaking in the table itself, like the conversation. He's just sitting there.
As we're all sitting down, like awkward, almost like an awkward silence for a minute. So, do you know anything about what we're supposed to be doing? Are you the one that's giving it to us, or is the king? I'm genuinely so unbelievably confused. I just heard there was something to do with people, and I was excited.
He nods. The only information I have is a number of people have been asked to assemble teams, and thankfully, I've eliminated the competition already.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
We'll be the only
Maybe
contenders
accept
for the
your
job,
contract.
but our job is unclear at this point. Just that we are not expected to return, but if we do, there's a king's bounty waiting.
Sounds good to me.
King's bounty.
The initial
Yep.
higher fee is my own that I've given you. We get
Yeah,
back
whatever gets me money and puts my name out there. Let's just do this.
If we get out there, then we come back. We've been told several thousand platinum each.
Cool.
oh baby.
Alright.
That's cool. Sooner we get this done, the sooner I can leave
Sooner
this
rather
hot
than later.
as environment.
Get this
Genuinely kind of concerned on something that somebody would put forward that much money for, but hey.
Something they value highly enough to pay for.
You're here. I don't know why you're complaining.
I'm not complaining, I'm just concerned.
Then leave.
He looks to Vanna sitting next to him, and a soldier. You must have good tales.
Maybe if you
Care to spread any of those here?
Well, there was this one village that kept on getting attacked by bandits. And they finally called my unit in for a stakeout. And we weren't sure how the bandits were sneaking past the existing guards. They had scouts and guards already in the area. So we decided to fashion little grass huts under the hillside by like one of the little edges of the village, and just like stake the village out. and we found out very quickly that they were making their way in by posing as merchants, and then as soon as night fell, that's when they would throw off their merchant attire and they would attack. Slaughtered them all. Good. It was
Worthwhile.
good. It
Worthwhile.
was good. I remember specifically skewering two at the same time, just simultaneously.
It's the first time you've heard him. He actually does a little chuckle out. It's the first time you've seen him do any kind of response. They deserve it.
Yeah. You know that sound they make when they have the deflated lung and they're trying to breathe anyway? That's hilarious. That always gets me.
He lets out a small sigh. And he goes, "My favorite so far has been crushing someone's spine by reaching through their torso."
Man after my own heart.
He leans back and he looks at Kai, who's kind of sitting off on her own a little bit. "What about you? Not an elf? Not a human? What brings you here?"
Good question. I'm trying to find a challenge. My challenges haven't been much for me.
I can see that. He kind of lightly pats his back. His lower back area where you sliced him and diced him a couple times. He looks at the goblin Malak and "You kept me blinded, you little shit. I couldn't see."
Oh, was that what it did? I don't know.
That was-
I just was.
Clever. Very clever. Like clever will keep you alive.
I
looks-
was just looking for a meal in my pocket.
He looks
Glowing
the
you
goblin.
he looks at Obadiah as well. "What about you, Weasley tongue? Any tales to regale us with?"
Okay, so this one time, all right. So I've had this little kind of street side performance. I do some puppet shows for kids. It's a lot of fun, honestly. If we ever do have some like downtime, I would love to show you. But this one time I watched a bandit get run over by a horse. It was quite horrific. He tried to steal from another street vendor, and as he was running away, a kid tripped him, and he fell up under a horse, and it was just one good waffle stomp through his head through a grate. It was awful. It was one of the worst things I think I've ever seen. That's all. I mean, yeah. I should probably stop talking.
Was that here in Mahul?
Yeah, I think it was actually down the street.
I
like,
think I
last
saw
week.
that.
Yeah.
I think I saw that. That was quite the ordeal. People were screaming, cowering.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah,
you
it
heard
was-
the bellowous laughter in the background, but that was me.
That was you?
That was me.
Yeah,
Quite-
that tracks.
Quite the spectacle.
That tracks. Yeah. Okay.
He looks to lift and yourself. He points to you and Vanna, definitely not from here, so why would you come to this hellscape compared to you?
Well, my family's dead, my adopted family's dead, my whole village is dead. Don't got a whole lot at home.
Well,
Fair.
in my case, it's actually a really long, tragic story. You see, I need money. Actually, that was pretty easy.
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
That's-
that was
straightforward.
actually that ended up being faster than I thought.
The best
Me and
motivator.
Bonner are on the same mindset.
The best motivator.
More than that, I could tell you, but nobody cares. So let's just get on with it.
He nods.
Exactly.
He leans back a little bit in his chair. You can hear it creak under his weight, and the table leans up a little bit when he does it too, because his legs coming up a little bit. And he looks over towards one of like the openings in the wall. "Well, looks like it's about time to head that way." He stands up. The table again just lifts up. As it just crops on the ground as he stops. It does catch a little bit, still lifts a little bit up when Vana's underneath it. So it doesn't like it is. You just see it wobble back and forth a little bit. He stands up and walks, and he starts to head outside. And
We have
he's
to follow.
yeah. He stands at the bar for a second. He goes, "I'll meet you all outside."
All right.
I wait for everybody to leave, and I will follow out last.
Oh,
So once you guys get outside, go ahead and make sure you don't move any further than that.
Yeah, Matlock.
Is everybody
I
everybody head
can't- I
outside?
can't move.
There you go. Now
Yeah,
you can
as I head outside, I'll be like, children's puppets, huh? And then continue to
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
forward.
Mm.
But I get like kind of a smirk.
It makes good money. Ass.
It's a choice.
The last ones of you are heading out. You can see him slide a few more coins, and you can Malik and Guy. You can kind of hear him say, "For the broken dishes and the table, and the blood on the floor." He motions to the blood. His blood that's on the ground over there.
Nice guy.
Don't you dare open that door, Quablar.
I am gonna have to make every single wall and door.
He's a curious little fellow.
Which is funny because these doors are all locked, and I like it's. You think it's because I have nothing in there, but I actually have like a fully fleshed out kitchen in there with staff, everything. So as you walk out, there are two guards that are they seem to be hassling the people in like that are. Hey, let me swap places with Vana real quick. They seem to be hassling, leaving the bar a little late, look a little drunk. Maybe you lose a few coins on the way home. And they quickly. They don't question, they just kind of pay up and then kind of leave their way, tossing a few silver into the guard's hands, and then leaving. They stop you as well, before, and they're like, whoa, 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 and where do you think you're going?
I'm leaving.
And they, well, looks like you, might have to pay the fine for being drunk in public.
I'm clearly not drunk.
The
Take
doors...
my money and I'll fuck you up.
The doors behind you swing open, and he walks out, and he's still like he's about a good, probably around a foot over top of Ivana, and he's just peering down on them, and he's probably about 3 foot taller than them, and they're just looking down at them, and they just look up at him, and he goes, "Is there a problem?" No, and they just walk away. One of them goes over and just starts looking in the
Fuck your
well.
Mom.
They very clearly hear you and register it, but no one seems to like be doing anything about it. They just seem to be ignoring it.
I have
Can
no
I ask
problem
a
being
question?
your stepmommy.
Yes.
Okay, again, apologize for my novice. Can Mage Hand pick pockets?
Yes. You have to roll a sleight of hand check with it though.
That's okay. I just thought I'd
Um,
try it.
Eric, would that
Yes, I-
time at the table be considered a short rest?
Yes.
Cool.
So
I will
if
be
you
asking that question a fuck ton.
feel free to hit the short rest button. Just don't roll any die if you don't need to.
Oops.
Restore health. I don't think any of you do.
Wrong button.
He wasn't trying to kill any of you, so. So you're using Mage Hand. What are you trying to do with it?
I'm just gonna pick his pockets. 'Cause,
Whose pockets?
This guy up top. Here, if it would click.
Oh, okay.
So do I get
Yep.
my spell back?
Because I mean,
No.
he's been getting some money out of the room.
Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check as well.
That didn't turn out so good.
So as
Do I see the mage hand go?
passive, yes, you do.
Okay.
From where
As
you're
I
at, yeah.
see so, I will innately cast Silent Image and out of the well as he's walking up to it. Not necessarily small, but very long-legged, wide-bodied spider will like creep up the side, and then once he looks at it, it'll start to mimic his movements, and then just fall back into the well.
Okay, so go ahead and
kind of like keeps his attention. For a
go ahead
second.
and roll your sleight of hand again, so you have advantage on it. Nat 20. So you're very
Distracting spider.
he's kind of like you can kind of see him like kind of mimicking, like he's kind of moving side to side and kind of leaning forward further and further. And as he does, like you can perfectly see the pouch on his belt where he's been storing the kind of coins, and your mage hand just goes up, and it's very easily he just kind of unties it and just very quietly just pulls it away, and then picks it up to you. You have 6 silver and 8 copper.
Woo!
Beautiful.
Karma, bitch.
What is his passive perception?
Does he?
Okay.
Does he look? Did he look spooked by that, or was it more just
Confused.
like a, what the fuck?
He's
Good.
he's just kind of looking at it.
And
Spiders
whenever
in
it
the
falls
well.
back, whenever it falls and hits the water, it just kind of just melts, just and
You-
it disappears.
He's very quietly. He kind of not quietly. He just kind of hollers over, Bastion, don't drink from this well anymore.
Oh fuck!
Here's why. There's a spider in it. Should we tell anybody? Nah.
Good.
He just walks up here with him, and they kind of go about their way now.
Mm.
All right. So at this point, we're gonna go back to the Mahul scene. So let me grab. I gotta create a special token for you guys. Party. Actually, you know what I'll do since he's kind of leading you. So this is where you guys are at, where he's at, right across the bridge. So as soon as you come out, the city itself is very like sandstony and like sand brick and everything. There's a lot of dunes, not mostly in the city. There's some light dunage in the city, but a lot of plants that help to kind of break it up. There's also a lot of walls that you've passed on the way that seem to be there to prevent the winds from blowing sand around too much, except for on the outskirts. The outskirts are a lot of tents, and the sand has mostly overtaken a lot of them. And as you were walking up originally, you would have seen people actually outside digging their tent out of the sand because it just continuously is going over it. Along the walls, you would see large dunes piled up against them. But also a lot of, throughout all the houses, a lot of like canvas and tarps that are colorful and very vibrantly colored, and some domes as well, kind of speckled throughout, just to protect from the sun. Behind the tavern, as you guys come out for the first time, you kind of look around. You probably were a little bit busy coming in to notice it, but there is a huge statue. Like huge. I'm talking hundreds of feet tall. And it is big. And it stretches all the way back towards the river. And it is just of a man's head on a let me make sure everyone on the Twitch can see that. So it is a man's head on an animal's body with wings. So sort of like a sphinx, but yeah, but it seems like the face is very chiseled, whereas the rest of the body might be a little worn down.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see if I recognized it?
Yeah,
like,
go ahead and roll
I know
history.
more about
Is
it?
the face newer than the rest of the
Yes.
statue? Gotcha. Hell.
Yeah, Kai, you have
I
no
had
idea what it
11s
is.
and 5s. Okay.
However, Lift, you for some reason do recognize it because you had seen a pic. Maybe you saw a picture of the leader of Mahul, who is actually the king of this island, as you got off the ship, like an artistic representation of him. It was kind of like a caricature of him.
Okay.
And so you see it, you would recognize it. And you're like, oh, that's who that is. But it's very chiseled facial features, so it's a little less of a character on this one. The other one was like he had a big chin and wide eyebrows, and it looked kind of like silly.
It was obnoxious.
Yeah, but this one you can tell it's meant to represent him. But it's very regal. There's even a crown around the head. It's drips down past his cheekbones.
Bougie bitch. Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
But yeah. So you guys just gonna follow him to the king's fortress. All right.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't move you don't have to move your
Actually-
tokens.
Sir.
You're with him.
Okay.
So he walks through the he continues walking through the place, and he's kind of everyone that sees him, he's quite a few foot taller than most people here. And Vanna is as well. She's very large for everything. So they stand out very well. But everywhere he goes, he just walks down the center of the road. Carts that are coming, people that are coming, everyone moves to the side. No one even tries to question him or say anything to him. It seems most people here do recognize him, even if they're not like familiar with him, but he's very intimidating to them.
Okay.
It's worth noting that he didn't pick up the fur cloak that he had when he left the bar. He just left it there at the bottom.
So he just got his titties out.
No, he's got armor on.
Well, he's got his armored titties out.
As he approaches
Same.
the castle, you can kind of see him slow down as he turns toward it. It is almost a pyramid-like structure, but instead of being a full pyramid, it is, think more like Mayan or Aztec, where it's got steps that go up it, and it goes up a couple hundred feet. So it continues up probably around 500 steps. And as it continues to go up, it just there are guards posted every now and then. They seem more regal than the ones you saw on the street that were hustling people. They are wearing a little bit more ornate armor instead of like being kind of a brass pauldron. They have it's more like onyx colored with gold inlay on it, and then like a lower torso piece. You guys are getting distracted too easily. I'm gonna ban you from my Twitch
You're
chat
sorry.
temporarily.
Okay. No, I'll minimize it. Fuck off.
So
I said one thing.
no, you haven't. Look
No.
look at the chat. I can see the chat, cat.
Yeah, but look at the timestamps.
I don't have timestamps.
Exactly.
I'm looking through.
Anyway.
Anyways,
Long-ass
so
time.
he
Anyway.
immediately walks toward it, and he starts taking multiple steps at a time on the way up there, and he just stops after a few steps and kind of waits for you guys to catch up.
I got long legs. It's fine.
How
Instead
long
of
has
taking the
this
steps, I'm gonna
king
take the
been
little
in-
slope thing.
I am going
Just
to
walk on the slope.
stop everyone from moving.
How long has this king been in reign?
Roll a history check for me, with advantage.
History advantage. Natural 20.
There it
So
is.
you were actually here when he took reign. It is currently 13 PF. So he's been in charge for about 20 years. So
Okay,
he's
okay.
an adult, but you also he took over from his father, and his father was revered very much. Like he built a lot of the infrastructure here, and he kind of there's a lot of questions as to how he took control because his father was healthy, and then kind of just one day he was just they were like it's a shame, but he fell ill and he's died.
Keeled over and died.
So
Yeah.
I guess this isn't a question for me because I didn't recognize the statue, but would that statue be of the current or the past king?
You don't know that.
Would it be of the
what-
current or the past king?
It is the current
Is
king.
it-
You were actually
Okay.
around when it was being chiseled too. So you saw them actually chisel away at the father's face and to form his and replenish parts of it with new rock and kind of mold it in.
Interesting.
There is quite a bit of magic here as well. Like there are magic users. There's an entire mages guild here,
Mm.
and it is a large one. And also go with your history check, Obadiah. The mages are the reason the water flow continues running and stays clean, because they have a couple of battalions, or not battalions, but a couple of like groups of scholars and mages who use spells like create water, and they create it
Oh.
magically.
So it's like a man-made lazy river.
Yep. And so then they also have one, so you don't know how it all works, but you know that they also purify it when it goes underground.
Interesting. That's fun.
That's why there's such a strong mage presence here. Whereas in most of the continent, you don't know. I see you haven't been out a lot of the other locations, but that you've heard that this is the strongest concentration of mages on the island.
Okay.
That makes
Well,
sense.
They also
as
are very
he's
pompous
jogging
too.
up the stairs of the palace, as he's going on up there, I will ask the little goblin. I'll look at Malik. Do you need help going up the stairs?
No. Do
Okay.
you?
There are
No.
500 of them.
Wait, how many stairs are there? In
About-
all actuality?
I
Probably about
think that's what
500.
I heard. Okay.
I'm gonna just
About
float up
500?
them.
About 500, yeah.
Your legs are about that big.
Yeah. Yeah, you're pretty small, my friend. But if you
I
insist.
might have my own means to help out if I have trouble.
All right. Real quick, Malik, go ahead and I want you all to roll me a Constitution save.
Is this for climbing the fucking
Yup.
stairs?
You get advantage because you live here.
Oh, you
Uh,
said save?
Yeah.
Can we
Dear
wait
God.
real quick, Eric?
Yeah.
Can I just rebuttal this for a second?
Fucking Malik, short
I
ass
don't-
leg ass motherfucker.
was gonna say,
gets a fucking
like-
21 and the rest of us get under 10. What the hell?
I was gonna say people like Vana and Sarakai, Like, I don't know if it should be a big deal for them.
Also, I can
I do
literally
live on a
float up the stairs.
Vana and Lift are from a cold climate.
I can float up the
I live in a
stairs.
volcano.
But you're still requiring energy exertion to go up the stairs.
That's fair. I'm just
You-
saying
Yeah.
that I climb
I'm
volcanoes.
upset.
Goblins spending their time
so-
running
But these are
around
hard
from everything.
stairs.
So yeah, so this is kind of how it looks at everyone going up. So we got so Obadiah, you're by the time you guys get to the top of the stairs, you're a little winded, but like you're fine to keep going. Malik, for some reason, Malik he gets up to the stairs like the very top last. Like he is much slower than everyone else, but he has been just slowly trucking, just slowly the entire way till he gets to the very top, and he's not even short of breath either. He's just
He's
standing
the
there.
tortoise in the fucking tortoise and hare race.
Kai,
whatever it is.
you, it's even from the temperature you're used to, it's still a lot of work to get up here, and it's still exhausted a lot of stamina. So you're kind of out of breath. You're like, holy shit! It's like a good hike.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely got taken down a notch on that.
Vana. Oh, so Lift. We'll get to Vana in a second. Lift, you
Not
are
expend more effort
you
than
float
you
up,
have.
so you were able to get up fairly easily, but you are still like fuck.
It's fucking hot, and I'm
Yep.
tired, and I'm over it.
Vana,
On.
you probably do your best to keep up with him on the way up there, and then about halfway you realize that he's done this many times in this temperature, and it seems like it's a very little for him to deal with. And then as you get to the top, you get up there first, but you are exhausted. You are not an exhaustion point exhausted, but you are out of breath completely. So for like the next like hour or so, you would have a hard time like catching your breath just because you are used to the cold. It's hot. That's a lot of steps. That's a lot of climbing, and he was moving fast.
Okay.
All right, so
I'm
We did
even
it.
more miserable than I already was.
pretty much.
Yes.
All right, so I don't have a.
Awesome.
So this would as we enter into the building, once you get to the very top, there are 2 guards posted outside. There's been 2 guards like every 10 steps, and they've just been standing there, like just completely still. The heat just beating down on them, no care at all given, like no fucks given.
Mhm.
Vanna looks around. Vanna looks around and notices all the guards everywhere, and then she mutters under her breath, "Do half-naked men grow in this desert? What's going on? What's going on?"
As you're heading up there, Underguard looks back at you and he just says, "You say that half naked yourself."
Yeah, but I look good.
Oh, they're all in shape. Don't worry, they are all like ripped.
That's not the point, though, Eric.
I don't know what Fauna's into, but that's what they all look like. They do this daily. But so as you guys get to the top, there are 2 more guards stationed outside. As the moment Gadolf gets there, they immediately push back against these stone wall behind them, and you can just hear like stone on stone scraping as it goes. It opens up as it opens up, you can just feel a rush of cold air come out and hit you.
Before Vanna turns away from the guard who said that to her.
Oh no,
He's
that
like-
wasn't the guard. That was the guy you're following.
Oh,
The guards are silent. They don't even like seem to look at you as you walk up.
Vanna's like, I need a good retort for this. Yeah, but if there were 2 of me at every corner, you'd probably be a little bit curious yourself.
Fair. So as he gets to the top, you can as you all get to the top, you can feel the rush of like cool air coming out. Like it's a very different temperature in there. And he takes a step in. He has to actually, so Vanna and him have to actually lean down a little bit to get in, because they're quite larger than the rest of them. But after you enter in, it is a straight shot up in there. You're able to stand up evenly, and inside it is about 20 degrees cooler.
Oh, thank fuck.
Nut.
So it's you, and as you get in a little closer, you can see there are a number of like mages, kind of like looks like they're dancing, or people look like they're dancing. But as you look closer, you can see as they dance, they have a bowl of water in front of them. They're bringing up, freezing it, and letting it sit until it thaws, and then they're bringing it back down, and then continuing it over and over, like just like that. And so you can see how the temperature is getting lower just because they're constantly making that happen.
Mm.
At the end of the hall that you guys first approach into, it expands out to lots of pillars. Like they go even higher than the building looked like it was from the outside, but they go probably another 30, 40 feet in the air, holding up the building. And at the very end of it is a sandstone throne with onyx arms, gold inlay, the whole 9 yards. Think regal dickhead, and that's the look you have at the end of it. Even down to two braziers, two braziers that are producing light, that are using flame. But there are 2 mages next to it. You can fairly easily make them out as they're putting water, like ice, over top of the throne, and letting it melt down onto the person that's sitting below it.
I know what you meant by regal dickhead. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Sandstone wouldn't be my personal go-to, but
They
got
got a lot of sandstone here though.
plenty.
He then as everyone gets in, they close the doors. You can hear the rock scraping behind you as it closes again. He looks back at all of you and goes. He looks around, make sure no one can hear him. He's a bit of a dick, so I would advise not talking to him unless he asks you a question.
got it. I'll shut my mouth.
He pulls out from there. He reaches into his pouch that he has on his side, and he pulls out a writ, like a piece of paper, and just starts to walk forward as you guys follow him.
Okay.
He approaches the throne, and as he does, he doesn't kneel, he doesn't bow, he doesn't do anything. He just reaches up, holds, and kind of takes a few steps forward. As he does, the guards immediately, you can see that they start to bring up their weapons, but they're hesitant. They kind of hesitate a little bit before they do it, and then they finally commit to it. And he just stops and just looks at them for a second, and then just continues reaching his hand forward to give them the paper. The guy that he hands it to, he doesn't take it. He just kind of waves it to one of the guards, and one of the guards takes it, and then opens it up, and then hands it to him. And he reads through it and goes, "Oh, you're here about that job. Wonderful." And he looks at everyone. "I thought I smelled trash. Why is there a goblin in my court?"
Malik looks around. He's like, I don't see a goblin anywhere.
He looks at the big guy you guys have been walking around with. I'll put his token right here in the middle so he is. But he looks at the big guy and he goes, "You consort with that?" And he looks at Kai and Lift and Obadiah and them. Her, I guess. He points to Vanna. But them?
What did I do?
He
just
simply exists.
He doesn't like the guy you're with doesn't respond. He just sits and stares at him.
Malik pulls out Quimby and just pets it gently.
As soon as he reaches into his cloak, you see one of the guards turn one of their halberds towards him, but they stop whenever they see it's an animal, and they just kind of go back to their guarded stance.
Yeah, what is Quimby?
Toad.
Quimby the toad.
I was just asking for clarification to those who don't know.
And what does Quimby look like?
Just kind of a dark green common toad.
All right. Does Malik make any noises whenever he pets him or talks to him at all?
I mean, not right now. He's
Okay.
He's just used to this treatment.
Oh, okay. Well, he's just petting him kind of just calmly.
Reassure Quimby that everything's fine.
But so he continues to not answer the king as he talks to him, and at a certain point, the king, the guy that's supposedly the king, he just stops and goes, "I suppose you're the only one that's answered the call, so you'll be the one that will work. I'm having a crate shipped to the mainland, and you need to accompany it."
You mean the one full of grain and dishes?
Interesting.
Do I look like I would ship grain and dishes, goblin?
I mean, that's the crate that I found.
He just looks at you and just kind of rolls his eyes like a teenage girl, and then just sits back and he just leans back, looks back to Gadoth, and like I was saying, I need this crate needs to be delivered to Oneth, to my contact there, in perfect condition. Do not open it. Do not look at it. Do not even try to figure out what's inside of it, because if you do, you are forfeit the entire contents of the reward.
Ah, shit.
Oof. I'm too curious.
He goes,
Me
you'll
as a
know my
person, I just want to hit the red button. I want to see it.
you'll know my crate by my sigil. And then he points to the contract that he's holding in his hands, and he pulls it out and looks at it and just nods. Goes, you just need to find the harbor master, and he'll direct you to the ship that's enclosing it.
Can
And
we cast spells on the crate?
What was Obadiah about to say?
so you're paying out how much for an errand?
It's a very important errand to me.
Right. But why don't you just have your guard do it for
Because-
just their standard pay?
Do I ask you how to dress like street trash?
To be fair, these are very
Well,
nice
you don't have
clothes.
to ask me.
Compared to his robes, your robes are like common or peasant clothes. Like he's wearing silk that just like is like
Oh, I'm
cascading
well
down his
aware.
body.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's
Um,
actually synth weave as well, so it's like very like shimmery all the way through. It looks like it's got like it's a liquid just kind of flowing down his body, and it like has like its own waves and ripples as it moves. As he's not moving itself. It's just the liquid. It looks like a liquid covering him.
Ew.
Well, be that as it may, what's in the box?
That's none of your
I just,
concern.
Go like that.
If you don't want the job, he looks at
Oh,
Thunderguard.
I
If you don't want the
hey, wait.
if you can't keep your people in line, maybe I'll have to find someone else. Maybe I should just send my guards and do the job for free.
Yeah.
Save me
Sorry.
money.
Good luck with them surviving.
The job isn't to survive.
Yeah.
Would I know what he meant
I'd be
by
very impressed if they lived that long.
What do you say, Kai?
Do I know what he meant when he said to the mainland? Like,
I
I don't want to ask the question if it is supposed to be
He
obvious.
he didn't specify which mainland. He just said to the mainland.
He did specify Oneth though.
No, he hasn't.
Later in the conversation, he did say Oneth. Who's taking it? We're delivering it to Oneth.
Oh, did he? That was
Yeah,
the original
some of
discussion, like pre the campaign starting. I know that one was in there.
No,
but-
no, 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 no. Like that.
Oh, okay.
He just said Oneth.
Okay, then
was he
yeah.
not supposed to.
It's fine. He's Oneth. That's where it's headed. So
Okay.
you were just gonna if
I
you didn't
just-
if I didn't say it, you were gonna find out at the harbor master. Okay, so he then notes that Obadiah has gotten quiet now, and he's like, excellent. If you return and the package has been reported to me as delivered, unharmed, unopened, unfouled, unsoiled by your hands, then you'll receive your reward.
How
So
much
you don't want
is
touch
the
it.
reward?
Hey, Duff, how much does it say on the contract? I had someone else draw that up for me.
I
He-
can't read.
He clears his throat, and then he looks at it. 3,000 platinum per person involved in the expedition. He nods his head. He goes, I suppose if that's enough to get by for the day, then sure.
Okay.
He just nods. He goes, Is there anything else? Get up, looks back, and everyone and sees just to see if any of you have anything pertinent to say. He squints at Obadiah, and just he just nods, but he's staring at you.
Do you have any idea on what kind of threats we'll be facing?
The threats that anyone would face if they're transporting a king's good.
Okay.
better
So
than a king's bad.
Never mind. Okay. I'll just kind of like look
And,
down.
and like I said, you'll know the crate. It will have my sigil on it. It is a box that I helped design. I'm very happy with that. So,
It's gonna have like a fucking nude, full body photo of him like eating fruit out of a god's hand.
I hope I never see that.
Probably
He-
like that Sphinx thing outside.
He pulls out a another scroll from the side and he hands it, or he kind of like flops it down with one hand, with a flick of his wrist, and it's a drawing of what it's a rectangle box, but instead of being a full rectangle, it goes out towards the top a little bit to form almost a pentagon, but with longer bottoms.
Mhm.
It is
I like them
fully
longer bottoms.
so. In for your meta comparison, it looks very much like a casket.
Okay.
Ooh.
And it is fully colored black with gold designs on it, and in the center of it is a gold sigil. That looks like the one that is on the scroll that he brought.
Do I recognize anything about the design of the box?
You can roll history or investigation.
Investigation.
No, you have no clue on it. Like looking at it, it just seems completely foreign. You're probably used to people not really getting buried so much as burned alive from where you're from. So even the thought of like if it looking like a casket means nothing to you.
Okay.
Kai, it looks like it is a burial chamber, very much so.
I love the Egyptian
And
themes here.
the colors and the designs on it, they don't seem to be representative of anything. Yeah, it just is very ornate.
Very cool.
And so
That's rad.
at that point he then says, I need to cool down. This is meeting me too heated. He he leans back and he waves his hands up, and the mages, they take the ice from away from behind, like above him, drop it into pools, and then bring up a new fresh block and put it above him. And it just continues dripping, and he just like seems to just be laying back, letting the water drip on him. And then he's like, you can go now. And
I leave the room.
Data,
Battle.
he turns around and walks. He doesn't bow to, like, again, he doesn't bow or do anything, and just kind of walks away. Obadiah, you would know that usually it is probably customary to bow, but you guys seem to be exempt from it since you're with Gata.
Oh, I wasn't intending
Not
on
that I was
bowing
going-
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
That's just,
think
you would know
I
the
will
customs. Is that
Yep.
one of the customs is that if you see the king's, like, his what's it, caravan in the street, everyone parts and lets him pass, stand, like, and gets on knees, and if they have any goods they're carrying, they have to offer them up.
Yeah, I'm okay.
That's a more recent law that's come into effect.
Sounds like a dickhead.
He wants me to offer him like my pocket full of like
No.
debris and food.
No, that's-
Yes.
That's if his caravan is passing you on the street.
Yeah, but
He
what
wants
I'll
your
leave is-
he wants your pocket spores.
His crate. We
Let's go.
we pass him on the street and we hand him back his sigiled crate. Hey,
Let's
this
go
is-
get a box, guys. Because all we are
A pretty
just
box.
to him. All we are just what's the word?
Expendable.
FedEx drivers.
Basically.
With swords.
Gata pipes up. Well, if he's willing to pay 3,000 platinum for each of us.
I mean, yes.
Money.
Can't believe we're
30,000.
getting 4,000 platinum each of us.
Yeah, 30,000 gold does sound nice.
Yeah,
he
300,000 silver does sound much better though.
it does.
he starts to walk back, and as he gets to the edge, you can see there are two guards on the inside as well. They slam their hands against it, and they step back, and the doors open inward still, and you can just feel the cool air rushing back out, just blowing past you.
Hold on, I don't see any guards. I just see the five of us in the.
Yeah, it's theater of mine, my friend. Where we don't have a battle map for this.
Oh.
Yeah, we're just here. This is just
Um,
me describing it. So and you guys are all walking out with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yee.
once again, he bends down, Gata bends down, and he just crouches underneath the wall, like the doorway, and then comes back out. The moment you get outside, you can still feel the cold air like rushing out behind you, but you are now very much aware of the heat beating down on you. It is
Let's
as
get out of here.
yeah,
as
as
soon
it is around
possible, my
85
friend.
degrees out, and it's just dry and hot. There's no cloud cover at all.
Hard pass for me.
The trip back down, I would say, Vana, as you look down, you're just like, fuck. Because you're still a little winded from the trip back up.
I'm like that that SpongeBob meme where he's just SpongeBob's just like naked and he's just like exhausted. Like
Yeah.
Oh,
Hold on, who was feeling hot?
everyone
Me
is.
And Vana.
It is hot.
Vana? I go up to Vana, I go, I can cool you down a little bit if you want me to.
Ooh.
I stare down at him and I unsheath like a length of my dagger and I say, choose your next action very carefully.
Oh yeah, no problem. Do you want me to cool you down or not?
Yeah, sure.
Alright. And I cast Chill Touch.
That's not what Chill Touch does, by the way.
Oh, it doesn't cool him
Chill
off? Then
Touch is
never mind.
necrotic.
You're right, that's necrotic. Yeah,
Yeah.
never mind.
So we'll redact that one real quick because everyone gets, for some reason, Chill Touch, also the image for it is like a fucking ice cube.
Yeah, I thought it would cool
No,
him off.
it's literally a necrotic skeletal hand that does necrotic damage.
Well, I'm not gonna chuck an ice knife at him, so I guess you're just gonna have to be
They should
warm.
call it rigor mortis touch.
Yeah, basically.
As we start to descend the stairs, once again, I'll cast Silent Image and make a image of who? Vana, about 2 feet to our right, walking down the stairs, trip over her shoelace and fall down the remainder of the stairs.
So a completely silent Vana just
Yes.
trips, and you just see her
No
just
noise.
continuously rolling down the stairs like out of a Scooby-Doo movie or Scooby-Doo show episode until
Ow.
it gets out of range where then it fades away.
Brilliant.
But with no noise, so it's just
Yeah.
like a flailing Vana falling down the stairs.
All right, you get to the bottom, and the harbor's about a day's ride east
Oh, fuck.
through the desert. Has Obadiah been out of the city before?
Yeah, so he wasn't born in the city, but he's been in the city for several years. This is the city where he left his family.
Am I
and
gonna
was
have to
like,
take
"I'm
away
gonna try
permissions?
No.
So so you would know that the day's ride is because you can't ride it fast. You have to ride and find markers because the sand continuously there's sandstorms that just blow through and they cover the roads and the trails and the paths. So they've made markers that you have to follow and keep. You can't go too fast, otherwise you might lose them and then you'll be lost in the desert.
Oh, well, that'd be unfortunate.
Yeah.
If only I had keen mind to tell me where to go.
Do you?
No.
I didn't think so.
Alright.
So he's just offers, I can put you all up for the night, and we can go out in the morning because it's about 5 or 6 p.m. right now. It's 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So the sun's still like pretty bright in the sky, but you can see it's getting towards the end of the horizon. Or we can head out right now. It's colder to travel at night, anyways.
Ooh.
I vote for traveling at night.
I also vote for
Then
traveling at
will
night.
we be able to get there before daytime hits?
No, our best bet's to camp up during the daytime.
That's fine with me.
I vote for that too.
Yeah.
Just
No,
gonna-
it's-
Same to me.
Fill up some canteens of water and grab a couple rations.
Same.
yeah. So there's a general store, so you're free to do that. It's only I think let me find out how much a ration is
I
real
have
quick.
shit in my bag. I'm fine. I'm Gucci.
Do we have horses? Because it's a day's ride. How long of a day's walk is it?
Well, even the ride is going to be at walking pace.
Oh, right.
Might as well
Stand.
just walk.
Yeah.
Forget. And mine.
The only
Walk.
benefit is of bringing an animal or beast of burden is that you can carry more.
Okay.
We don't have that much, I don't think.
No.
But so as he kind of, so I'll give you guys how much you need to deduct.
I've got lower,
Real
lower
quick
in my
before
chair
we
this
leave the
whole time.
city, I'm like, 1 second, I'll be right back, guys. I know I didn't close the stall for today. I didn't think this would take as long as it did. and I'll run over to where I have like my little stall set up, and I'll put all my puppets in my bag, and I'll close up the stall and catch back up with everybody.
Okay.
Adorable.
So, do you take any of that stuff with you, or do you just leave it all locked up there?
I mean, I'll put it in my house. Like I'll just kind of
Okay.
because I probably live on because it's in the marketplace
you
and
probably-
people live above stores, so
Yeah.
I'll just carry it.
You
up
probably
to my
live in one
room.
of the more shared buildings among.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put it in my room and I'll close and lock my door and then head out. I don't want people to steal my stuff.
As
That's my job.
as you walk out, or as you kind of do that, your nosy neighbor pops out and goes, "Going somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I am actually.
Need me to keep an eye on your stuff while you're gone?"
Actually, I think you should keep an eye on yours.
All right, fair enough.
You should buy some more ale. I drank the last of it, and I walk away.
Okay. Have a good trip.
I like that voice.
As do I.
You can just hear, as you're walking away, you can hear the slow creaking of the door as he closes it. And even with your passive perception, you catch a glimpse of him just watching you walk away as he closes the door. You hear it latch.
I enjoy him.
So as you get down there, everyone, you kind of catch up. For rations, you can go ahead and deduct like about a silver, and for water another silver, and you've got a couple water skins or a couple canteens full of water. I'd even say you probably have a few good sized ceramic jugs that help to kind of keep and hold it that they give you for that. And as you guys kind of walk with him to where the edge, there is a stable where he walks in, and he walks into the stable and he walks back out leading a horse that is not big enough to support him by any means. And but on the back of the horse there is like a bunch of equipment, like you can see like he's got several bags on the back of it. He looks at the jugs and goes, "Do you want to put those on there?"
Yeah.
Though they put him on there, the horse, it's a larger than average horse, but it's still too small for him. But it doesn't even like register the weight extra. It just seems ready to go. We'll call it a Chesapeake Bay kind of coloring.
Cute. Someone's playing D&D
with
so he knows his, or Red Dead so he knows his horses.
Yeah.
As we start to leave the city, I'm going to once again.
On
Never
the
mind.
gain.
Nope. I'm not gonna do anything. Never mind. I forgot what I was gonna do anyway. So
Sorry.
no, not because of what you said. Because my brain
Oh.
just fucking hit a tree. So it's about a day's
In
walk.
the desert.
About a
Yeah.
day's walk, Eric.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get the going then.
Does anyone want to do anything before you guys head out of there, or everyone just ready
Nope.
to rustle and get out of there?
Nope. As soon as we leave the barrier of what threshold is considered the town, like a raven just comes by and like annoys me and just like takes its seat on my shoulder.
All right.
That's it.
Right.
I just walk with that.
Oh, you're fine. Lift, are you doing anything before you guys head out of town?
No.
Okay.
I
Malik,
got everything I need in my pack.
you got anything going on before you
Yeah.
guys leave town?
Nothing for me. I figure I'll just slowly follow the rest without touching anything.
All right. So as you guys kind of head out past the gates, like probably about maybe 30, 40, maybe 50 feet outside the gate, the road that's been throughout the city is just covered in sand immediately. And you can see your first marker. It is a large metal rod. Like it's probably about 15 feet high off the ground, or out of the ground. And with a bright red flag that just waves back and forth.
Okay.
Standing, like once we get to it, can we see the next one?
Not yet.
Does that mean that we go in that direction? Like, just continue in that
You
direction?
usually you would know since you live here that usually when from the first marker there are two real paths to take. One is east and one is north.
Okay, gotcha.
And the exit you guys are going out
Gotcha.
of is east. So if you wanted to go north to the mines, you could easily take a northward route, and then you would find the next marker that way. But he starts heading east.
Okay.
So
How long does the Raven stay there? Sarakai?
It varies.
Okay, noted.
I have no idea. It'll just come and go.
All right then.
Neat.
Were we at this
What a
city
pretty
or this
map!
city?
Sorry.
I'll
Where
give
are
you a
the
hint.
cities?
Which one has the big triangle on it?
And then mine's to the north. Yeah, I know I'm a
Yeah.
fucking idiot. It's fine. Damn.
Got him.
Shit. Okay.
It's a little, so it's technically a 3 days walk, but I don't have the measurement set up correctly because I didn't fix this one.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
fine.
But
Fair.
so immediately he hops
small
off.
though.
It's as you guys are heading out. It's the sun has started to get low. Sun's getting real low, big guy, and it's starting to cool down immensely. Like it's already dropped down to 70 degrees, so it feels substantially cooler already.
Oh, nice. I love it.
Probably around 30 minutes after walking past the first marker, you now see the second one coming up, and continues this way. Like there's nothing. Every now and then there's a tree. There's some light vegetation, but mostly it's just dunes and sand. You can see the mountains to the north. They erupt far above the actual horizon line.
Beautiful.
Even you can
Fun.
see the light spattering of like green trees at the base of them. It seems like that is where the most temperate area would be. But everywhere out here is mostly desert plants and desert trees.
And we're just cutting through the desert. We're not going up to
Going
the
east.
forest and then
Yeah.
traveling along it.
Yeah, so you'll be the path that so you would I would know this. The path that you're probably going to take is going to be this way, and then
Okay.
cutting past the city.
Cool, cool, cool.
And then
Alright.
heading towards the harbor.
Fun. All right. Well, as we continue, do we need to do anything? Or since he's
Yeah.
leading us, I guess it's pretty hard for us to get lost.
Yeah, you're not going to get lost, but go ahead and roll me Constitution saves. And this time it's everyone has to roll one for right now.
Is this for
Uh,
heat or is this?
It's for
Do we
heat.
have our tokens?
No, just
It's
go
heat
in
at
the,
night.
on the right side.
Isn't it like 70 degrees?
Oh, right. Okay, Constitution save.
There you go.
Is
I'll
this
just.
for heat at night or heat during the day while we're
This is
camping?
the very beginning of the trip, so the heat that you're still
Okay.
experiencing,
One baby.
the sun beating down on you.
Fuck you, game.
I don't see the roll thing option. Where is it pop? Oh, it's behind it. Let's see.
Fuck you, game.
Um,
You're only giving me good throws of this shit.
As the heat starts to get to me a little bit, I will use my breath weapon and I will cover myself in ice. Just look up and unleash
Is
like a
it lagging?
torrent of ice that will fall back on me, and I'll be
That's
covered
where
in
we
like
get our
ice
water.
and snow and stuff for like
Yeah,
an hour.
I'll say it won't be ice, but it'll be like you shoot ice into the air and then it just snows back down on you. You shoot at an angle where it just kind of comes back and covers you, and you're fairly wet at that point.
I imagine Vanna's just chasing your tail.
Yeah.
I'm so miserable in this fucking heat.
Malak with your covering and Kai with yours, you're doing okay with the outfits you're wearing. You're very loose fitting clothes and very kind of walking along. Malak again is just for some reason he is not affected by most of the stuff. He's just
Malak's
small.
fucking
Maybe he just
pro.
runs cold. Maybe he's a lizard.
The power of
Well,
the
actually, a kobold, not a goblin.
Yeah, he's two kobolds in a jacket. Or he's half a kobold in a jacket.
Once we start to take a long rest, or are we just gonna travel through the night and then long rest at sunrise?
So you get to about where he's at right now, on the bottom
Oh,
part of it,
shit.
and that's where the sun is starting to come up now.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll kind of stop, kind of heavy breathing a
We
little.
couldn't make it to the town.
It's very hot now, and it's gonna be a couple hours of walking in the dead heat.
Nah, I'd rather sleep.
Yeah, we're gonna camp here.
Yeah.
I'll look up to our guide. We're gonna camp here, right?
Yep. He kind of stops, like it's like as like he's just walking past the dune, and without saying a thing, like as soon as you say that, a few seconds later, he doesn't say anything. He just stops, looks up at the sun that's coming up, reaches over to the horse, pulls out one of the bags on the back of it, and then opens it, and then starts setting up a tent. And then
I'll leave the tent.
he's still setting it up. So he looks and he holds out some pegs, and he holds them out for Obadiah, who's just talking to him.
Oh.
And he kind of points. He says, "Equidistant,"
Yeah,
and then starts stabbing them down. Afterwards, he points to Kai, and he points to the bag. Get the canvas out of it. And then to Vana, he points to her into lift, and says, "Go in there and get the bedrolls."
All right.
Okay.
Done and done.
So him and Obadiah set up the frame of the tent. It's almost like a teepee, but it's much wider. And instead of it being like a straight angle up, it goes up a little bit, and then the poles that he's actually setting up, the rods that he's actually setting up, then kind of fold in. They don't look like they're natural folds. It looks like he's bent metal rods to fit the shape.
What a guy.
And
What a
then
guy, indeed.
he then motions to the canvas, and then throw that in. So he grabs it, and then he just kind of motions for you to walk forward with him as he walks, and then he's tall enough to actually put it over the top with when he reaches his arms up,
Dope.
and then you
I
just
got
kind of
them monkey arms.
yeah, you're kind of
Help
like
out.
trying, you're kind of pushing it to the side a little bit as you're going up and over, and he finally sets it over the top of it, and it looks like it is a bunch of leather patched together.
Okay.
It's not actual canvas. It's
I
just
like
a
it.
bunch of shit just kind of sewn together and in there. Since you're helping with the
After he
canvas,
knitted these himself. Oh,
roll me an investigation check, real quick, just because as you're kind of moving it along, they don't look like any animal you've ever seen.
Oh, cool. Well, as I'm helping him put it up, I'm just gonna say, what exactly are these? And continue to unravel it. And did you stitch them together yourself?
He nods and they're trash, and then he continues.
Can I take
Pull
a
it down.
deeper look at what they look like?
Is
to
it
see if-
human skin?
You can with the int 23, you're able to kind of like look a little closer. Roll me a nature check.
Oh, I don't know nature very well. We'll see how this goes. Not great.
You can't quite place it.
Not
You
bad.
you really aren't sure what animal it is.
Okay.
But it's like the skin just it's dried out. It's thin. It looks like it's probably like, even your hand underneath it. It feels cool because it's just the sun is not able to get through it.
I'm gonna pose another question then and just say, what is this trash made of?
The ones who failed.
Ah.
Oh.
And then he then gets to a point. He goes back to the. He's like, he points to Sylvan and lift. Go ahead and set up the bedrolls. He points to the goblin. I need your help. And he walks into the other bag and he pulls it out and he opens the bag and he pulls out another jar that's kind of like the ones you had the water in. And in it, he also pulls out 2 brushes and he pulls it out, like opens the jar and he dips one of the brushes in. He goes, he hands you one and he goes, "You go low, I'll go high." And it's just like it's some kind of liquid that he's got in there. Cover every spot.
Alright.
And he just starts
Of the tent?
of the tent. Yeah, so he just starts going.
Okay.
Alright.
Huh.
Whole process takes
What-
probably about an hour.
Yeah.
But when it does it, anyone who's inside the tent kind of setting stuff up, You can feel the temperature as you walk out. It gets hotter and hotter, but inside it's staying the same temperature.
Interesting.
Sweet. I don't ever want to leave the tent.
Micah says, "Leave it with me now."
She's demanding attention right now.
All right, so he goes ahead and he sets up. After all that, it takes about an hour to get the tent all set up, and then he just sits down to eat. And he kind of pulls out some snacks from one of his bags and then starts eating. And after he eats, if he has any questions for him, you can feel free to ask him. But
I don't care enough.
I assume we're gonna take shifts for watch, because isn't this like a frequent place for bandits at the very least? I'm not necessarily afraid of them. That's just a nuisance I don't want to have to deal with.
he points to one of the parts of the tent, and through it you can see a small design. And he goes, "They'll see that, and they won't come near here."
That's fair. I still think it might be a good idea for us to take shifts.
Oh, well,
Do
feel
what you
free to
like.
Help yourself to the first shift. And the
I
only
will
shift.
greatly take the first shift, and then I'll sleep.
Good.
You can
Right.
feel free to investigate to the tent if you want
That's
to, but
you. It's all you, baby.
if you want to, depending on what you want to do, it would be a different check. But Malik, are you going to eat and going to sleep?
Yeah, do I have any of that fluid left?
The ones that you're painting on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more. You didn't use it all. It's probably about a quarter full now.
Oh, I see.
It goes pretty far.
Gotcha.
I will say it doesn't smell nice.
Oh.
Yuck.
What is it? Is it sinew? No, not sinew. Is it like fat?
So
Oh,
kinda.
fuck off, Eric.
You don't know. You don't
That's
just get free
magical.
answers. You wanna figure out what it is. You can make some checks.
I'll do a check,
Alright, let me
but I don't know what I'm
investigate
checking.
it,
All right.
since I've been playing with it.
All right. If you're playing with it, go ahead and make me. What are you trying to investigate on? Are you trying to just like feel the consistency? Like, what are you doing with it?
See what it
Smell it.
is. Could I put it on myself? Like, I want to know more about it.
Give it a sniff.
See if I paint some on myself. It'll keep me cool.
All right.
Good point.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check, or a medicine check if you're trying to see if it's safe to put on your skin.
Can I do a nature to see like what kind of like
Nature, you might be able to you might be able to deduce some of the makeup of it.
Okay, I'll do the medicine, I suppose. Just a normal roll.
Yep, just a normal roll. So as you're kind of playing with it, it's got like a very kind of like thick, mucusy kind of texture. Like when you have it in your fingers, you can like kind of spread out your fingers and it kind of sticks between them, and you almost feel like a little resistance. And when you do, you pull it away and your fingers are still wet. But they also like hurt from playing with it.
Oh.
So whatever it is, it's possible that you can touch it, you can like manipulate it with your hands, but prolonged exposure seems to hurt.
All right, I put it away. Get the hell away from it.
Probably
Nice
smart.
bear.
Is Bear gonna try to drink it? Like he does, like his characters always do something
With
dumb.
everything else, just drink it or eat it.
You wanna snort it?
Up your butt.
I don't know what you're talking.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll kind of sit down with stuff. I'll set some stuff up around my bed, since I did say I would take the first watch, even apparently the only watch.
Yep.
I am just gonna kind of sit there and relax, kind of blow off some steam, write in a journal a little bit, try and come up with a new puppet skit. Kind of chill, hang out, not do much.
So the first watch you go for about 2 hours. It's very hot. It's in the day. Towards the end of the 2 hours, you with your passive perception, you can kind of hear like hoofs in the distance coming up. Like they're probably around like a couple 100 feet out, but you can still make them out. For some reason, it's just oddly quiet in the desert right now. The wind is all stopped and settled. You can tell that the wind is kind of was blowing pretty hard from the south because your south side of the tent. You can see that you can kind of like see through the tent wall a little bit, but in certain spots of it, the sand has been built up, so it's completely blacked out.
Is it still approximately like 8 a.m.?
No, right now it's gonna be about a little before 10 or a little after 10.
So like right before we were intending on sleeping is when we hear this.
No, so you would already been asleep if you guys were sleeping. He's on watch.
Yeah.
That's why he's awake.
Oh, got it. Okay.
You can hear the hoof prints starting to get closer as well as you're doing what you're doing in your book.
Yeah. I'll actually, as I'm kind of resting, I listen to the hoofs, and I'm just kind of take a second. Okay. Does everybody look asleep around me?
Yeah, I'd say everyone's asleep.
I'm definitely asleep. It's too fucking hot.
Inside the tent, it's not like much cooler like it was in the castle, whatever. It's more of like 10 degrees colder, so it's just cooler.
Okay.
20 degrees cooler.
All right. So. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm gonna pull out like a few items from my bag, and I will have out a puppet, and I will tie a few strings to it and kind of pull and play with it a little bit. And do I hear anything else for the hoof steps or anything, or is it just nothing? Do they dissipate off into the distance?
They don't dissipate off. You actually hear them stop near the tent. At which point you also hear vomiting.
Ooh.
And then you hear the horses just kick up and run.
Oh no, that's not
Ew.
good. I'm scared for what the fuck this tent is.
I mean,
Vomiting.
he did say it was made out of the people that didn't pass.
Yeah.
He didn't say that. He said those that failed.
Those that failed, I mean, you can deduct that
Hey,
it is
who
made out
vomited?
of people.
There were
I
people
definitely
outside the
passed.
tent that approached the tent and vomited milk.
That's true,
Oh.
Casey. That's true.
And then I will kind of hang out once they vomit very curiously, and I'll wake up Sarah Kai and tell her to take watch, and then I will go to sleep.
Does Kai take watch, or you just go back to sleep?
I'll take watch.
Okay. So, nothing happens during the rest of the time that you guys are there. Hang
on. Give me just 1 second, Eric. I'll
Yep.
DM it to you.
Okay, thank you. I was going to ask you what I should
working
be
on it,
looking
yeah.
at. So, Kai is like your watch goes by without question, and as you're kind of just sitting there, like just kind of watching the tent, you can start to kind of make out like the little there's a symbol in the tent itself, but it looks like it's like not a symbol that's in the tent, like drawn on the tent. It look like it's like just something like stretched in like slightly black or grayish. You can't really make it out what it is.
If I stood up and like walked closer to it.
Well, it's on
Like,
the
really?
it's towards part of the roof where it's kind of facing outward,
Oh, okay.
so you wouldn't be able to get closer to it. It's probably around 7 foot up.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm like nearly 6 feet tall, but
It's still a foot.
Well, I still.
You can try to
there.
jump. And you can be like,
Step on one of the bodies below me.
Yeah, just ask
No, okay.
Vana to pick you up with her big strong arms.
If you wanted
Yeah.
to make an intelligence check, you could to see if you can discern what it is, but it's just a raw or investigation check, I guess.
Oh,
Do you have you're proficient in investigation? Okay, you are. So with the 13, you kind of make it out. It looks to be like looks like a stretched out skull with
ooh.
two things coming out of its head. It almost look like horns, but they're kind of stretched really wide.
Alright.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Just took a note down. Yeah, I guess I'll just finish my watch. And then I'll
Yep.
switch with lift if that doesn't make it through the night.
Does Liv just go back to sleep as soon as she gets waken up?
Yeah.
So as soon as you go to sleep, you wake up. Liv sits there for a little bit, and then you're able to fall asleep.
Lift is. I mean, homie said that there's no problem, so Lift's like, okay, I'm going back to bed.
You typing a novel, Bear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And Lift, while you are sleeping, you have this nightmare. We're just whispering it to you.
Okay.
And
Nice night.
the rest of the night goes off without hitch, or like you guys don't get woken up until you hear the tent being taken down above you.
So the tent got taken down above us.
Yeah, so as you guys all wake up, the
Oh,
first
right.
you wake up to the sounds of the
Oh.
actual. Yeah, you can hit the long rest button. You'll get your spell slots back automatically.
The long rest button.
Yep, it should be underneath your hit points or your hit dice. There should be a
In
button.
character sheet.
Yeah, there should be a button that says L rest. For you, for you, it's underneath to the right and bottom right of your picture. There's an S rest and L rest. Click the L rest one,
Oh, okay.
and that'll automatically restore hit points and give you your spell slots back. So, at which point, you kind of wake up to hearing like a lot of like rustling and movement, and you wake up to see him disassembling the tent, rolling the canvas back up, putting it in his bag, and then
I'll jump up and start helping break down the camp.
he nods at you as you help, and then just kind of continues about his business.
Yeah, gang. I'll probably roll up bedrolls or something.
And then, all right. Anyone do anything before you set off again for the evening?
No.
It is
I'll
once
do
again
a
very
little-
cool.
I'll do a little gear check. Rub my blades with oil, and test the tension on my bow, and the pull weight and whatnot,
Okay.
and then just sort of generally, saddle up.
Sounds good. So at that point, after he's got everything put back up on the bags, or all the bags on there, he then begins walking without even saying anything to anybody. He just starts walking.
Alright.
Also, if you can go ahead and I think you should have it in your inventory, just remove one ration. I think all of you should have them in there.
I should.
In the inventory, let's see. Have rations? So I click
yeah.
on rations.
One.
So if you, it depends on which kind of character
Edit
sheet
it?
you have. Yeah, you might have to edit it, and then just change the quantity.
Oh shit.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then
okay, so-
he sets off immediately. How many rations did you buy, Kai?
I bought an additional 5.
Okay. Did you already add those to them? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, you already had 10, so go ahead and add 5 more.
I had 5.
What?
And I had 5, and then I added
Oh,
5
okay.
to get to 10.
Okay. Never mind then. Okay, so yeah, you guys are able to continue on. He just, as you guys can see, the city coming up. He just makes no even notion to come near it. He seems to kind of curve around it.
Okay.
Is there any reason why we're curving around it, or just take more time to go through than around?
You can ask him.
Would I know this?
I mean, you know that there's a city there. It's a smaller city than the one you live in. Little less fancy and rich, but it's still it's kind of closer to the river and to the beach.
Hey, Gadeth, is there any reason why we are avoiding this one, or are we just gonna keep heading? Wouldn't it be easier just to go
Avoiding
through
it
rather
now?
than around?
For most people, yes.
Okay.
I had a disagreement with the guard captain.
Understood.
He's the one whose spine I crushed.
Understood.
Oh.
Understood. We avoid the town.
Big
Got it.
disagreement. My favorite kind of disagreement. A brief one.
He continues to. So it's after about another day of travel. You guys do anything in the process?
I don't. I continue on my journey, and anytime I get a little too warm, I'll cool myself off with some ice.
Okay. So as you guys come up towards the evening on the harbor town, it's a very small set of buildings, but with a fairly decent sized dock. But there's a lot of like warehouses. It looks like this is where they import and store a lot of things that are necessary. The first person he walks up to is a man just standing outside of a warehouse. There's no guards, there's very few guards here. But it also looks like the stuff here is mostly empty or gone. Like there's tons of open crates. There's tons of like empty buildings. It probably looks like maybe around 40 to 50 people live here. So he immediately walks up.
Interesting.
He walks up to the first person he sees and goes, "Harbor Master." And they look up from their little paper with like a bunch of like leather bindings and just point to a guy that's standing, and you can see him in the distance. He's just yelling at people, going, you just hear no, just kind of yelling in the background.
Okay.
And he just trudges off past the guy. And the guy, as he walks past him, the guy that's got the books, he just drops the papers in the book as he stares at him as he walks by, and then he looks at Vana as well, and then looks by, and he drops more papers. And the rest of you kind of just seems to relax, and then he sees Malik, and he just stares more concerned.
Malik winks at him.
Hi.
He starts to scramble and pick up his papers.
So it's my understanding you'll be showing us to a crate thing from the king.
No, that's not the harbor master you guys saw. This is the guy that he
Oh
pointed to the
god,
harbor
my
master.
brain just kind of.
That's okay.
Sorry, I'm an idiot. I
That's
started to
just a
walk towards the
random
harbor
dude.
master.
Okay.
Yes, and then I was like, so it seems to be my understanding that you're supposed to have a box for us from the king. Is that right?
He's sitting there shouting at
Box
people.
is a
and
loose
as
phrase.
you get closer,
Casket.
while you're talking to him, you hear, no, those crates go into that warehouse. Those get unloaded and shipped directly to the capital, and these stay here for the next shipment leaving. What?
I'm here to pick up a box from the king. It's like gold, really gaudy, probably kind of really ugly, judging by his taste. It looks like a sarcophagus.
Yeah. Do you have the writ?
Oh, the big guy does, and I point to the looming
Thickness.
hulk of a man walking towards us.
Gata steps out and he holds it open. You can now see like the writ in his hand. You were able to see it a little bit before, but the size of it just like it looks like a sticky note in his hand, and he just kind of holds it out for him.
Oh.
It's very crumpled now from his back, but he holds it up and he goes, yeah, holy shit, yeah, holy shit, yeah, what the, all right, yeah, it's, he goes ahead and he
Holy
he walks
Is
towards.
something wrong?
No, just he's big. I didn't.
Vanna
she's big.
leans in. Vanna leans in and says, "What ain't no language I ever heard of?"
He seems a little bit shaken. Roll me intimidation real quick, Vanna.
Oh no.
They
Do
speak
it.
English. They speak English and what? Intimidation.
Yeah. He's visibly shook. He's visibly shaken just by like the size of you towering over him. Because he's like a fairly average sized guy. Probably, he's actually a little shorter than average, probably around 5'6". And he's a human, and he just looks just like oh fuck.
Almost everybody there
Yeah.
except for
He's-
Malak is taller than this man.
He's used to seeing people tall because he's a fairly short guy. That's why he's got that commanding like he looks like he's probably got little man syndrome.
All right. Now that I've successfully busted his chops, I'm gonna lean back from him and I'm gonna smile very warmly and I'm gonna say, "Listen, we're just here to do a job. Just get us the box, and we'll be on our way."
And he's just like yeah. And then he pulls out some keys and he's fiddling with them. And then he grabs one and he's like, yeah, just follow me. And he walks to past
As
a
he
few of the
turned-
warehouses. Go ahead.
As he turns away, I say, "Deep breaths, man. Deep breaths."
Any day now.
He turns, he just waves you to follow him, and he walks past several warehouses to a smaller one that has no visible doors. And then he walks up to it, and then he slides the key in between two cracks, and then just kind of, instead of turning it, he pushes it up. And then he starts to like move it in different directions.
Mm.
And then the stone wall just separates and opens up, and in it is completely pitch black, but you can like from the little light that gets in, you can see like reflections of some kind of like metal material in there as he goes in, and he just pulls a box, and it's a solid black crate, elongated, probably around 4 to 5 feet long. And he just
Interesting.
pulls it open. We've had orders not to try to open it or not to open it. He points to a latch that closes that's very obviously has a sigil on it or like something engraved on it. And he's like, so we've just kept it in here. The ship that's here to help you guys take it where you need to take it will be here in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, I guess.
Could be worse.
Yes, it
Yeah.
could be worse. Could be like we're delivering a sarcophagus. Woohoo!
It's
Yeah.
only
Gated.
4 feet.
Gadeth grabs the handle he
Still be a
pulled.
Child
sarcophagus. It could be a,
sarcophagus.
yeah, exactly, a child.
Gadeth
The-
picks that up and then throws it on his shoulder and just has it in one arm.
Ooh,
Just stands with it.
thickness, okay.
And then he just nods, and then he's like, "Where can we sleep?" There's a sailor's tavern right over there. He just points and he just nods, and he starts to walk over to it. And
I'm gonna follow sickness.
yeah, he offers again to pay for the rooms for the evening.
What a
Jeez,
guy.
That's fine
Good
with me.
man.
I'm gonna lean over and kind of cast like a sort of a knowing sideways glance at Gadeth. How do you pronounce it?
Gadeth.
Gadeth. And I'm gonna cast a sideways glance, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, so those other teams that had this contract that you discouraged from participating, that none of them happen to have been given a small advance, did they?"
In a way.
Yeah, and I mean, whatever could have happened to that small advance on the contract after they were discouraged from participating, I wonder.
He shrugs. I gave them an advance
Yeah.
as well.
Indeed. Well, thank you for your generosity.
You can hear, as you lean away, you can hear him chuckle to himself, and you can very lightly hear him say, "Advance from their life." And he continues walking. With that, he goes ahead and pays for rooms and sets everybody up, but we will pick up right here on next week.
Okay.
Yeah, we better,
So
or else.
we're going to pick up right here next week,
Or
where
Watching
you are
guys.
leaving off, just heading to the Sailor's Tavern, where there's places to sleep and drink. where you can stay the night before sailing off in the morning.
All right.
Okay.
Quality.
All right. Well, in that case, let me see if there's anything I have to go over on Twitch. Nope, we are all good. Perfect. In that case, hope you guys have a, or if there's anyone watching, have a good night. And for the rest of you, just hang on just a minute. Yee.
Alrighty.